Hello everyone. Good afternoon. And welcome once again to Y4IT 2021. I hope you all had a great lunch. Kamusta? Nakapag-lunch ba tayong lahat? Yes, okay, Smiley. All right, okay. Yes, nabusog. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for the reply. Yes, Rosie, thank you very much. So, yes, a few greetings muna tayo before we start. All right, okay, Edward, thank you very much. Yes, TIP, hello. Hello, Kevin. Yes, BJ, Christine. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all safe, especially our kababayans in North Luzon. Let's pray for them. So kung nasan man po kayo ngayon, mag-ingat tayong lahat, all right? Okay, now let's go back to our program. All right, so today's second keynote speaker was appointed as the country's first privacy commissioner in 2016. In April 2020, he was chosen to lead and chair the Global Privacy Assembly's COVID-19 task force intended to create a venue for collaborating among jurisdictions and organizations and address the emerging privacy issues posed by the spread of COVID-19 worldwide. Let us all welcome Commissioner Raymond Liboro.
Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Monique, salamat sa imbitasyon sa National Privacy Commission at sa ngalan ng National Privacy Commission, again kami nagpapasalamat sa inyo together with the DICT, and congratulations sa Y4IT. Alright? That naalala ko pa nung una akong naimbitahan dito, Monique, may ilang taon na rin na nakalilipas, pero lagi kami excited to speak in front of the youth, no? At pag-uusapan natin ang papel ng kabataan, no, dito ngayon, no, sa tinatahak natin bilang bansa. Right? So lahat ba tayo nananghalian na, Monique?
Yes, sir. According to our participants, sabi nila kanina, busog na daw sila
Busog
at
na busog na
ready.
sila.
Yes,
Alright,
mabusog sa
so
bagong learnings.
ready ba kayo? Ready ba kayo na matuto, no? At ako naman, siguro simulan natin, no? Itong ating meron akong present na maliit, no, maiksi na presentation sa lahat. Kabataang digital. Lahat ba tayo dito kabataang digital, Monique? Right? At meron tayong tinatawag na 3 M's of being or a digital youth, no? Bakit ko nasasabi ito at mahalaga ito? Alam na ba natin na 81% ng lahat ng kabataan sa buong mundo, sabi po nila, no, ay nagsisimula ang online presence at the age of 2. Tama kaya ito? Ano ba sa palagay ninyo? Siguro kung meron makakapagtaas dyan ng kaya ba nila magpakita ng emoticons dyan? Pero tatama po ito, no? 81% of the world's children start their online presence at the age of 2. Lahat ba kayo nagti-TikTok? Right? Siguro tanong ko yan, marami ba sa atin, no? Pero again, gusto ko lang sabihin, no? At itong tema nga natin, yung mga emerging technologies, marami po nagagawang buti para sa atin. Ngayon, 'di ba? Ang mga klase ay online na. Ang mga magulang nyo marahil ay nagtatrabaho, work from home, gamit ang digital at online. Nakakapamili na rin kayo sa Lazada, sa Shopee, right? Using online at using your smartphones. At na-entertain din tayo via these new applications using emerging technologies called what? Artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data. Yako, mga bagong mga salita yan na dapat ay maging pamilyar tayo. Pero tulad nito nakita ko na balita, so hindi lahat, no, ng applications, no, ay masasabi nating buti lang ang mabuti ang naidudulot sa atin. Kaya merong National Privacy Commission, no, para tulungan tayo suriin itong mga bagong teknolohiya na ito para tayo rin, no, ay mismo matulungan sa ating pagdedesisyon dito sa kung tayo ba ay gagamit nito. Alam ba natin na 90% ng kabataan sa Pilipinas ngayon ay gumagamit ng internet? 59% ang gumagamit niya na walang katabing mga magulang, no, na nagtuturo sa kanila kung ano ba dapat ang i-click at ano ba dapat ang itap. Dati po, texting capital lang ang Pilipinas. Pero ngayon, nagiging data capital na rin, ano, dahil 71% gumagamit ng smartphones at gumagamit na rin presumably ng data. At 34% po ang gumagamit ng desktop computers. Siguro kung i-google nyo ang National Privacy Commission, nitong mga nakaraang araw, right? Nasa balita ang NPC dahil nagtaas kami ng babala tungkol sa tinatawag na smishing, right? Smishing, baka kayo nakakakuha kayo ng mga text messages na may mga nakadikit na mga link na kapag kinlik mo at itinap mo, ay dadaling ka sa isang website na maaari kayong mapahamak. At di marami na kami nakukuhang reklamo sa National Privacy Commission at meron ng isa, no, na meron din kami hindi lamang isa na merong link, no, na kapag tinap mo ay dadaling ka sa isang dummy Facebook account. At kapag ikaw ay nag-click nga dito sa link na ito, ikaw ang magiging registered account holder nitong dummy Facebook account na ito. So lahat ito ay iniimbestigahan ngayon, tinitignan ng National Privacy Commission, again, kasama sa kapangyarihan namin yan, na imbestigahan ng mga bagay na sa palagay namin ay naglalagay sa peligro sa ating mga kabataan. Kailangan pong maging matalas, no, maging aware tayo at talagang madagdagan ang kaalaman natin. Lalo na ang kabataan, paano nyo po protektahan ang inyong datos, lalo na ngayon sa buhay nating online. At lalo na kayong lahat, mga kabataang digital. Right? Nilunsad din namin yung aming kampanya, Privacy, Safety, Security, and Trust Online, or PST. Kailangan natin, no, nasabihan ng ating mga pituhan na PST, ipaalala natin sa kanila, no, na maging secure, maging safe, at kailangan, no, pagtiwalaan at yung ating mga ginagawa online. So ito ang kabataang digital. I hope, no, yung ating Y4IT ay mag-respond, no, at sumama sa amin dito sa kabataang digital. Gagawin natin kilusan ito kung saan alam ng mga kabataan ang kanilang karapatan. Ano ba ang inyong mga karapatan? Right? Karapatan ninyong maintindihan at malaman bakit kinukuha ang inyong datos. Kaya karapatan mong itanong, why are you processing my data? Right? Meron ka rin karapatang pumalag. O sabi natin, right to object. Halimbawa, nako, naglipa na ngayon ng mga survey, tinatanong-tanong, di ba? Kung sino bang boboto mo. Pero ay, kung ikaw ay, ikaw isasali diyan, pwede dapat mong sabihin na ayoko na, no? May karapatan kang sabihin na huwag mong i-process itong data mo. At kung ito nga po ay isang video, halimbawa, video cam, stop videotaping me, no? Pwede mong sabihin 'yon. Karapatan mo rin yung access to your own data. Ano ba ang alam mo tungkol sa akin? Yung mga malalaking, mga Facebook, Google, ano, yan po lahat, ano, pwede mo nang alamin ano ba ang meron ka tungkol sa akin. Kasi nga, yan po ay karapatan ninyo na matanong at malaman doon sa mga nangongolekta ng impormasyon, ano ba ang hawak nilang impormasyon tungkol sa iyo. Karapatan mo rin na i-correct, baguhin, no? At itama, no, ang iyong detalye, ang iyong data na kinolekta ng iba. Karapatan mo rin sabihin, tanggalin mo yan o i-block mo yan. Remove me from your database. Doon sa mga tumatawag po sa inyo o kaya nagte-text sa inyo, nagtataka kayo, saan ba ito galing? Sabihin mo na lang, wag nyo na ho akong i-text. Stop na or i-block nyo na. Or kung hindi yung numero, sabi nga natin sa smishing or SMS phishing, kapag nakita nyo na yung telepono na pinanggalingan, hindi mo kilala, wag na ho kayong mag-click, wag na kayong mag-tap, baka kapahamakan lamang ang inyong abutin. Karapatan mo rin tinatawag na data portability. Ngayon, meron na tayong data portability sa SIM, ano, sa mobile, meaning yung datos mo pwede mong ilipat doon sa iba. At kailangan ibigay sa iyo yan, no? Yung buong yan. Kung halimbawa nga po ay gusto mong magpalit, no, ng serbisyo or magpunta, no, sa ibang service provider, ay karapatan mo kunin yung data mo dyan at ilipat dito sa panibagong mong service provider. You have a right to complain and a right to be indemnified. Napakarami na po nagrereklamo sa National Privacy Commission. I hope hindi, sana nga, wag kayo yon, ano, dahil pag nareklamo kayo, ibig sabihin may kapahamakan na kayo nagawa sa inyo. Pero in the past, dito lamang taon na ito, almost 5,000 concerns and complaints ang amin pong pinoproseso. Last year, 2,678 ang formal na mga reklamo, no, na isinampa sa National Privacy Commission, at yan po ngayon ay dinidinig ng aming National Privacy Commission. So, ano ba dapat nating gawin? 3 M's, right? Ang pagiging isang digital youth or kabataang digital. Maging matalino, maging mapagmatyag, at mapanuri. Matalino, mapagmatyag, at mapanuri, no? Kailangan ang digital na youth or yung kabataang digital ay alam kung paano niya sabihing i-express ang kanyang data privacy rights. Maging mapanuri ka, no? At you should become watchful when it comes to online data collection. At ito nga, no, yung magiging vigilant natin, no, maging mapagmatyag po tayo, right? Kasi napakarami na ngayon, no, na nangyayari na ikaw mismo, no, nahihirapan ka ng madali ka ng malansi nitong mga modus, no? Sabi ko nga, hindi lang COVID ang pandemya ngayon, may pandemya rin ng scam, swindle, at mga frauds, no? At maraming kabataan ang nabibiktima dito. Lalo ng kababaihan. Gusto ko lang sabihin, 59% ng aming mga reklamo ay galing sa mga kababaihan. So kailangan pong maging mas lalong mapagmatyag, mapanuri, at matalino ang ating mga kabataang digital, lalo na ang ating mga kababaihan. At kasama sa panawagan namin ang mga magulang, ang mga guro, na patuloy pong itaguyod ang isang culture of privacy at pamunuan po nila ito. So, panawagan ko sa inyong lahat, maging privacy warriors, privacy champion at privacy watchers, no? At marami kaming dito sa NPC, puntahan niyo lamang ang aming website. It's www.privacy.gov.ph upang, sabi ko nga, ay makilahok dito sa ating kilusang inilulunsad ang kabataang digital, maging matalino, mapagmatyag, at maging mapanuri. So, yan lamang po ang aming mensahe mula sa National Privacy Commission. Pinasasalamatan ko ang Y4IT. Nandiyan po ang magaling na dating Undersecretary ng DICT, si Monchito Ibrahim. Mon, Tokayo, talagang ako believe sa iyo dahil hindi mo binitawan itong kabataan natin. At tuwing nagsasalita ako sa harap ng Y4IT, nagiging feeling bata rin ako. Pero talagang lahat tayo, no, itaguyod natin ang karapatan ng mga kabataang digital, lalo na po ngayon, nalalapit ang halalan. Yan, kailangan tayo maging mas matalino, mapanuri, at mapagmatyag. Salamat ng marami sa inyo muli.
Thank you, Common.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Liboro. Now, we'll move to our Q&A. So, you're open to any questions for Commissioner Liboro. So, guys, may question ba kayo kay Sir? Meron dito pabati, Sir, from Rowena. Thank you po, Sir Liboro, for that informative presentation and inputs on data privacy.
Uy, alam mo, Monique, gusto ko rin ding pasalamatan si Rowena at iba pa, no? Kasi simula nung nilaunch natin itong Kabataang Digital, no, marami na nagke-create ng mga, in fact, alam ko may Facebook page pa yata na ginawa sila upang mangalap ng suporta rin, ano, at ipalaganap itong mensahe natin, no, na maging matalino, mapanuri, at mapagmatyag, no? Nakikita ko ang participants natin lampas 1,000. Alam nyo, ito yata ang pinakamalaki na forum, Yusek Mon, na pinagsalitaan ko, at talaga naman kaya naman ganadong-ganado kami sa National Privacy Commission. Abangan po ninyo, no, ang aming mga susunod din na mga aktibidad patungkol po sa kabataan, at marami po tayong mga polisiya at impormasyon, alright, na ibibigay at ginagawa para patuloy na protektahan, no, ang ating digital youth, no. So ang kabataan ay isang sa masasabi namin, tawag namin ay key privacy theme, no, ng NPC, at diyan nga po binubuhuso namin ang aming resources din sa pamamagitan ng paggawa ng tamang polisiya at pagbibigay ng advice, impormasyon, at patuloy na dialogue, no? At maabisuhan ng mga kumpanya na tumatarget sa kabataan na kailangan protektahan nila ang datos ng ating kabataan.
Right. Thank you, Commissioner. Now, sir, meron lang silang curious tayo, si John Senar. Curious lang siya. And then si Engineer Dominador Zaragoza as well. Ang question niya, what are the future plans in improving our data privacy measures?
What are the, sorry, Mani, can you?
Yes, sir. What are the future plans in improving our data privacy measures?
Wow, napakagandang tanong yan. At yan ay, again, no, dito po sa atin, no, dito sa NPC, lahat, no, alam niyo po, dalawa lang po ang pagpapaliwanag bakit tayo may derong Data Privacy Act. Una, dito ho sa Data Privacy Act, sinisiguro, no, ang karapatan ng bawat isa, yung ating 21st century rights, no? Kanina in-enumerate ko yan. Yan ay mga makabagong karapatan ninyo. Pero pangalawa diyan, no, ang Data Privacy Act ay nagbibigay o nag-uubliga doon po sa mga kumpanya at maging sa gobyerno sa tamang pagpoproseso ng inyong personal na datos. Kaya dito, right, kausap natin, no, lagi tayong nananawagan sa mga kumpanya, no, na magkaroon ng data protection officer, magsagawa ng mga tinatawag nating privacy impact assessment. Pangatlo, magkaroon ng mga privacy plans at programs. Pang-apat, no, ipamalas at ipakita, no, ang kanilang pagpapahalaga sa privacy. At panglima, no, maghanda sa posibleng mga tinatawag nating breach. Kaya ang tanong ko sa mga paaralan ninyo, tignan ninyo mismo doon, no, ang inyo bang paaralan ay tumatalima, no? Nag-o-observe ng data privacy. Tingnan ninyong eskwelahan ninyo, meron ba siyang data protection officer? Pangalawa, 'di ba? Nagko-conduct ba sila ng tinatawag nating privacy impact assessment? Meaning yung pagngongolekta sa inyo, right? Alam ba nila ang tinasabi ba sa inyo ang mga risko dito? Pangatlo, nakikitaan nyo ba sila ng mga privacy notices? Right? Nakikitaan nyo ba sila? Sabi nga, nagkaroon ba ng mga programs, no, at mga plano? May plano ba ang inyong mga paaralan tungkol sa data privacy, pagpapahalaga sa inyong mga personal na data? And finally, handa kaya sila kung sakaling magkaroon ng breach? Marami na po kaming mga eskwelahan, no, na nagre-report ng breach notification. Marami na rin mga reklamo kami nakukuha tungkol sa mga eskwelahan. So ang ginagawa natin dyan, doon sa nagtanong, pinapadala natin sila ng mga tinatawag na compliance orders. At inaaral natin, pag meron kami nakuhang reklamo, unang-una namin tinitinatawag ang data protection officer nila. So kapag walang DPO, nako, suspect na rin kaagad. Baka hindi ito sumusunod sa Data Privacy Act. So kayo mismo, ito kayong mga kabataan, no? Kayo mismo, maganda, i-check ninyo ang inyong mga paaralan. Doon sa mga sinasabi kong hinahanap natin, unahin nyo na, kilalanin sino ba ang data protection officer ninyo. At kapag wala silang masabi kung sino kanilang DPO, nako po, tsak, medyo magkakaroon ng, alam mo na baka hindi ito sumusunod. So again, mga kabataan, ito meron tayong papel, right? May papel ang NPC, right? May papel kami, mga nauna na sa inyo. Nakikita nyo dyan si Mr. Yusek Mon Ibrahim. Ginoong Angel Redoble, ang pinakamagaling na information security dito sa ating bansa. Alright, andito pala si Mr. Angel. Marami kayong matututunan din po dyan. Pero again, meron ho tayong papel sa bawat isa. No? Kami nila Angel, makakapagbigay ho kami sa inyo ng ika nga para ho kami mga magulang ninyo o ito advice namin sa inyo. Pero sa kahuli-hulihan, di ba Mon, Angel, kailangan nyo po kayo, sabi nga, maging matalino, mapagmatsyag, at mapanuri. So, very basic po yan. Digital hygiene, Angel, di ba? Digital hygiene, pagpapapalit po ng regular ng halimbawa nga po, ang inyo po mga password. Kayo ba nagpapalit ng password? Ano ba ang sagot doon? Kayo ba nagpapalit? Gaano kayo katagal? O gaano kayo kadalas magpalit ng password? Right? So sabi ko, minsan tinanong ako niyan, Monique, ang sagot ko, sindalas ng pagpapalit ninyo ng toothbrush. Nung minsan may nagsabi sa akin, ganun po ba? So isang beses lang pala nagpapalit sa buong taon ng password? Sabi ko, hindi. Kung gaano ho kayo kadalas dapat nagpapalit ng toothbrush ninyo. Kasi ganyan din po ang kailangan. No? Na tayo po no, sabi nga natin, ngayon marami na nag-o-online, marami na nag-work from home. Ang mga kriminal, ang mga scammer, swindler at fraudster ay working from home na rin. At marami silang oras pag-isipan kung paano ho tayo lalansiin at gagawa ng kaparaanan upang tayo po ay mapahamak. Kaya maging matalino, mapanuri at mapagmatsyag. May tanong dito, ako na sa ano po bang mga complaints ang mga natatanggap nyo po sa inyong komisyon? Ako,
Yes, sir.
magandang tanong yan. Noong una, ang
Na-notice ko, sir.
pinakamaraming
Yes.
complaint sa amin, kung narinig nyo yung online lending application, yan ang napakaraming nakukuha naming complaints. Pero bumababa na rin ho yan dahil marami ho kaming aksyon na ginawa po dyan. Na kapag meron ho kami nirekomenda na mga nagpapautang, kung may nakukuha ho kayo, no, na biglang pauutangin ka ng biglang, wala hong problema kung nagkakaproblema na pag hindi na kayo nakabayad, alright, at tinatawagan nila yung mga contacts ninyo. Yung pala, kinuha na yung mga contacts ninyo. Right? At yun na ho ang iisa-isahin at sasabihin na ipagpipilitan ka ngayong magbayad dahil napapahiya ka na o ipapahiya ka nila. Apat na kumpanya po ang aming pina-take down bilang sa National Privacy Commission. At inisyo namin ng order sa Google Play na i-take down po yan at tumalima ang Google sa atin, no, sa order ng National Privacy Commission. Right? So yun ho ang maraming mga reklamo na nakukuha po namin. Ngayon, marami rin ho tayong reklamo na kukuha, tinatawag natin unauthorized processing, right, of personal data. Again, yung nababiolate yung ating karapatan, no, sa impormasyon natin ginamit sa hindi tama, yan po ay nirereklamo sa amin. Right?
Thank you, Commissioner Leboro. Meron din pong question, sir, related to, from Rowelyn Ramizo, sir, related to, giving information kapag ka nag-positive sa COVID-19. Alam naman po natin, sir, may contact tracing tayo na ginagawa sa ating cities. Sabi ni Rowelyn Ramizo, is revealing names who's positive in COVID-19 a violation of data privacy, in which knowing the person can give caution to the people around him or her to be careful?
Alright, magandang tanong yan, magandang tanong yan. Gusto ko lang sabi, pa-opo ako na magandang tanong yan. Pero sasabihin ko sa inyo ay ganito. Okay? At matagal na ho itong COVID sa atin. Noong pong April pa lamang, naglabas na ng guidelines ang National Privacy Commission at ang DOH tungkol po sa pagkokolekta ng mga pangalan po ninyo natin at iba pang mga detalye, right, para po sa COVID. Tandaan po natin, ang health status po natin ay isang sensitibong impormasyon ng bawat isa. Bakit po? 'Di ba? Pagkat ang sakit po na may kaakibat na diskriminasyon tungkol ng COVID ay talaga po nakakapagpahamak ng isang tao. At ang diskriminasyon na po yan ay sintagal na ng Biblia. Naalala po ninyo, no? Kay Jesus Christ pa lang, yung mga lepers, di ba? Na dinidiscriminate sila dahil sila po ay na-identify na may leprosy. Right? So sinasabi po natin dito sa ating COVID response, collect what is necessary kasi mahalaga po ang impormasyon ng bawat isa sa atin. sa ginagawang responde ng ating pamahalaan. But only disclose to proper authority. Yun po yung mahalaga. Why? Kasi sila po ang makakagamit ng impormasyon na ito para po sa ating para po makaresponde po dito. So halimbawa nga po na ikaw ay positive, wow, no, dito wag naman po sana sa atin dito. At mailabas po yan, maisiwalat po yan at ikaw ay maging biktima ng diskriminasyon. Ano ba ang epekto nito sa pandemic response? Ayon po sa aral mismo ng World Health Organization, hindi ho nila nire-rekomenda, right, na i-announce sa publiko ang mga nagpo-positibo. Bakit? Dahil nga rin sa natural na reaksyon po natin na ayaw po natin ma-discriminate, ang nagiging epekto na lamang po niyan, nagtatago yung mga nagpa-positive. At hindi na lamang, sorry, hindi na lamang sila lalantad. Di ba? Kasi ayaw mo nakita natin yung nakaraang taon, di ba? May mga bahay binabato, may mga doon nga lang naka-PPE ka o naka ano ka, damit ka pang ospital, hindi ka na pasasakayin sa jeep. So hindi nakakatulong ito, sabi ng WHO. Kasi ang mga tao, no, mas magtatago ng kanilang personal data kapag ganyan. At hindi yun ang kailangan natin sa responde. So, nagagawa po ng maraming nasyon na makapag-responde ng mabuti. Wala hong bansa, right, na naging polisiya nila na isiwalat o ilabas ang mga pangalan ng COVID positive dahil yan po ay napatunayan counterproductive. Right? At hindi ho nakakatulong sa totoong contact tracing pagkat nakita nga po nila, right? Ang magiging na ito'y magsasanhi lamang ng pagtatago ng mga taong positibo, hindi na lamang sila magpapatest, hindi na lamang po sila lalantad, at yan po ay mas malaking kapahamakan ang magagawa po niyan sa ating pagresponde. Collect only what is necessary, but disclose only to the proper authority. Nandiyan po ang DOH, ang DILG, at nandiyan po yung buong mekanismo ng ating pamahalaan para mag-respond. Alright, sana naliwanagan tayo dito, no? Dito dahil matagal na itong ating matagal na itong ating COVID. Imagine mo, Monique, 2 milyon na yata nagpo-positibo. Kung yan ho ay pinapublish sa radyo o sa dyaryo, akalain mo, di ba, may 2 milyong mga pangalan, lulutang-lutang ngayon dyan na positibo. So ano kaya pwede mangyari dyan? Siguro yung ibang mga, in the field, mga human resource managers, no? O kayo, mga mag-apply kayo sa trabaho, sabihin kaya nung human resource manager, teka muna, bago natin kunin si Monique, check nga natin kung nagka-COVID yan kasi sabi nila, sakitin daw yung mga COVID. Diba? Napakalaking diskriminasyon ang mangyayari sa iyo dahil lamang isiniwalat na hindi naman kailangan gawin. So yun po yung ating pinangangalagahan dyan, no? At lagi nating nire-remind ang ating mga nasa pamahalaan na yan po ay hindi nga po epektibo.
Yes, take note guys, disclose only to the proper authority.
Yes.
Yes. All right, okay. So siguro sir, last question. This one's related sa appointment ng DPO. All right. Sabi ni Maricris Victoria, who must be the DPO of each company and what must be the qualifications to be a DPO? Should it be any personnel from the company?
Well, Monique, siguro ang ganda ng tanong niya yan. Medyo may wisyo at henyo yung nagtanong niya. Pero napakagandang tanong, right? Unang-una, ang DPO ho ay dapat pinakikinggan ng kumpanya. No? Kasi siya talaga ang nakakakita ng buong sitwasyon, no? At makakapagpaliwanag sa management at makukumbinsi ang management na ito ang dapat nating tahakin. Ang DPO dapat po, sabi ko nga noong una, parang pabiro lang na dapat may pleasing personality rin. Kasi kapag may mga nagre-reklamo, siya ang unang hahanapin. Masasagot ngayon niya yung mga reklamo natin o mga concerns natin. Pero ang dapat ang DPO talaga yung may puso at malasakit na i-champion ang data protection at privacy at security na nagre-remind po sa atin, di ba? Sa ating opisina, o meron tayong laging panahon or magtatakda every quarter na mag-change tayo ng password natin. O kaya titingin na lalagay niya lagi ang sarili niya sa, di ba, doon sa mga data subject o sa mga mamamayan. No, tayo ba ay transparent, no, bilang kumpanya? Tayo ba kapag nagpoproseso ng datos may legitimate purpose parati? No, meaning legal at hindi labag sa public morals, no, yung ginagawa natin pangongolekta. And finally, yung bang impormasyon na kinokolekta natin sa ating mga customers, no, at sa publiko halimbawa, ito ba ay proportional? Sakto lang, hindi tayo kumukolekta ng sobra, no, dahil yun po again yung tinatawag nating general data privacy principles. So ang DPO kailangan masigasig, no, siya ay champion within the company. Ang kabataan, no, napakaganda maging DPO kasi lalo talaga ninyo mapofocus, matututukan, no, at ilagay ang sarili ninyo, no, sa ano, no, dito kaya sa sapatos ng mga citizens. Don't do unto others what you don't want to be done unto you. Napakaano nga Christian na mga pananalita po yan. Pero yan po, sabi nga siguro yung golden rule na yan ay nag-a-apply din po dito sa atin. If you cannot protect it, do not collect it. So kayong mga IT na kabataan, no, i-remind nyo lang lagi itong mga simple na mga kumbaga these age-old tenets, no, at mga aral, yan po ay nag-a-apply pa rin sa kasalukuyang panahon ng digital. Don't do unto others what you don't want to be done unto you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much again, Commissioner Raymond Liboro. Thank you for that very insightful, discussions on data privacy here in the Philippines. Thank you so much also to our participants. Again, ang daming nagtanong.
Thank you. Oo.
Yes.
Sana rin huwag kayong magsawang imbitahin kami, ang National Privacy Commission. Again, maging matalino, mapagmatyag, at mapanuri. Check out our website. At kung gusto nyo makihalo po, no, dito sa ating kilusan, ang Kabataang Digital. Salamat po.
Salamat, Common.
Thank you, sir, for gracing our event. Thank you so much. Wow, ang dami dito nagtatanong sa ating Q&A box. Thank you so much, guys, for sending in your questions. We will try our best to answer those later, okay? All right, okay. Now, let's move on to our next speaker. Next, we have the officer in charge of the Critical Infrastructure Evaluation and Cybersecurity Standard Monitoring Division under the Cybersecurity Bureau of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. She was instrumental in the creation of the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center's organizational structure and was part in the crafting of the country's first national cybersecurity strategy framework. Please welcome Dr. Thelma Villamorel.
Thank you, Monique. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Maraming pong salamat sa Youth Congress on Information Technology. Maraming pong salamat sa imbitasyon. Isa pong karangalan na makapagsalita po sa ganito karaming participants. Kay Common, kay Sir Mon, yung dati naming boss. Sir,
Hi,
nice
Thelma,
to
Dr.
see you po.
Thelma.
Thank you po, sir, sa invitation na makapag-present po dito sa conference na ito. Maraming pong salamat. At sa mga nanonood po, sana po ay nasa mabuti tayong lahat kalagayan at nasa ligtas po tayo. Maibabahagi ko po sa inyo ang mga ibang ginagawa po ng inyong Department of Information and Communications Technology. Let's start, please, for the first slide. Monique, yung slides ko, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thelma,
Sige po. Haba pong pine-prepare yung slides ko, iniimbitahan ko rin po kayo. Ngayon din po kasi simultaneous yung ating Philippine International Cybersecurity Conference. Kasi po, Happy Cybersecurity Month po tayo ngayon. Tingnan niyo na lang po yung aming Facebook page para po maka-attend din kayo every week po. Meron tayong conference, parang month-long celebration of the National Cybersecurity Month.
Wow, very
You.
timely, ma'am. This October, we are celebrating National Cybersecurity Month, right?
Opo.
Yes. And what activities do we have para alam ng students natin, ma'am?
Opo, today po meron tayong ongoing, sabay nga po tayo. Ito sila sa katabi ko. Meron po tayong conference, meron tayong mga international speaker. Mamaya po siguro ma-share ko po sa inyo, Ma'am Monique, yung ating invitation dun sa Viber. Thank you po.
Wow, we'd love that, ma'am. Please do share. Sakto,
Opo.
ma'am, maraming IT students and professionals
Yes
na
po.
interested mag-attend dyan, I'm sure.
Lahat po kayo ay invited to attend po.
Thank you, ma'am. I
Thank you
think
po.
your presentation is ready, Ma'am Thelma.
Okay, so I'm going to share po the cybersecurity in the Philippines. Ano po ba yung mga initiatives ng Cybersecurity Bureau under the Department of Information and Communications Technology? Next slide, please. So the Department of Information and Communications Technology po has three attached agencies po, namely the National Telecommunications Commission, yan po yung ating regulatory. Then kanina po si Common sa National Privacy Commission, and yung bago po naming attached agency, ang Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center po, headed by Yusek Mangkaw po. Next po. So kanina naman po na-discuss natin ni Common, so I will not explain na po yung Data Privacy Act of 2012. So next na po tayo. Next po. So yan po yung building namin dito sa Cybersecurity Bureau. Next please. So yan po yung mandate ng DICT Cybersecurity Bureau as per RA 10844 or the DICT Act of 2015. So ito po under Section 2 is to ensure the security of the critical ICT infrastructure, including the information assets of the government and individuals and the businesses po. And then sa RA 10175 or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, makikita po natin doon sa Section 26 is to formulate the cybersecurity plan and extend the immediate assistance to the suppression of real-time commission of cybercrime offenses through a computer emergency response team. So yung CERT po natin or the national CERT, mamaya po i-elaborate ko pa iyan. Next po. So ito po ang ating National Cybersecurity Framework. Makikita po natin, ito yung mga agencies. DICT po ang lead po for the protection or nasa DICT po ang NCERT natin. And then sa DOJ, NBI, DILG, PNP, sila po ang lead for investigation and enforcement and the prosecution po ng mga cybercrime. Meron din po tayo sa DND. Sila naman po ang lead for the national cyber defense po natin. Okay? And then meron din po tayong intelligence community, which is NICA po, and NSC, National Security natin po. So we have partner po with our international and local private entities po sa ating pagprotect. And the CICC is the lead for the interagency body established to policy coordination and among concerned agencies. So yung pong mga yan ay member ng CICC, yung mga binanggit ko pong agencies. Okay, next po. In the National Cybersecurity Plan po of 2022, although ito po ay hanggang next year, so ngayon po may mga ginagawa na po kaming mga assessment, and then we are preparing for the next National Cybersecurity Plan. Pero dun sa existing po natin na National Cybersecurity Plan of 2022, we have 4 pillars. The protection po of information infrastructure or the CIIs na tinatawag po natin, and the protection po of the military and the government networks, then protection po of the business and supply chain, and importante po, at isa rin sa importante is the protection of the individuals. Next po. Tayo po yon. So, ito po yung organizational chart ng Cybersecurity Bureau. Nabanggit ko nga po kanina na it is under the Department of ICT. Cybersecurity Bureau shall perform. Ito po ang mandata ni Cybersecurity Bureau. Perform the activities related to cybersecurity, particularly for the formulation, implementation of the National Cybersecurity Plan, operationalize the Computer Emergency Response Team, and issuance po ng digital certificate and their relevant capacity building measures. Kaakibat po ng mga function na ito ay kinakapacitate din natin ang ating mga kasama po dito sa cybersecurity at ang iba po sa lahat po. Thank you po. Next please. So ito po. So meron tayong 3 divisions po under the Bureau, which is the Critical Infrastructure, Evaluation, and Cybersecurity Standards Monitoring Division. Dito po ako. Medyo mahirap pong kabisaduhin dahil mahaba. And then our insert, National Computer Emergency Response Team Division, and the Digital Certificate Division. Yung CIECSMD po shall continuously develop the National Cybersecurity Plan, corresponding issuances, as well as to enhance the resilience of our critical infrastructure and the government networks and from the sophisticated attacks. Yung CERT-PH naman po is our national CERT, shall do a proactive detection and response to cybersecurity threats, risks, and attacks aligned with the frameworks and standards through a high-performing and sustainable capability operated by the NCERT. Sila po yung sa operation, sila po yung nagmo-monitor, sila po yung nagbabantay, parang ganon, nagbabantay sa ating cyberspace kung may mga po tayo, mga cyber attacks o pagtatangka po sa ating cyberspace. Ito naman pong Digital Certificate Division na kasama din namin sa Cybersecurity Bureau shall develop relevant policies and administer the Philippine National Public Key Infrastructure or the PNPKI. Yung program na po na to ay issuance po ng mga digital certificates or digital signature. Kasi nga po lahat tayo ngayon naging online na, so tinatanggap na po ang mga digital signature. So sa mga katulad po ngayon, very busy po tong division namin kasi para sa mga teachers, para sa election, kailangan po na naka-digital signature na sila. Meron na silang mga digital certificates. Tayo po dito sa DICT ay nag-i-issue po sila upon validation, may binabalidate pa po bago po kayo issuehan ng digital certificate. So mag-inquire lang po kayo kung ang inyong agency ay gustong mag-avail at dapat naman po ay magkaroon na kayo ng digital signature and certificates. Next po. So ito po yung mga ginagawa namin sa ngayon. So number 1 po is management of cybersecurity incidents and monitoring of cyber threats. Sinabi ko nga po ginagawa yan ng NCERT, and provision of vulnerability assessment and penetrations testing service. So, free po ito sa mga government agency, yung BAPT na ginagawa po ng NSERT. Then, meron din po tayong technical assistance na binibigay. Meron din pong mga humihingi ng tulong sa Cybersecurity Bureau. So, ina-assist po natin sila. And then, ito po yung ginagawa din ng aming team, conduct of cybersecurity awareness events. Oo, dati po kasi tayo face-to-face, so pumupunta po talaga kami sa mga lugar na hindi po naaabot like mga probinsya po para po ipaalam at maging aware ang mga tao on the dangers ng space, sa space po, sa cyberspace natin. So meron din po kaming digital parenting and child online protection. So ngayon po, kinokonduct po yan mga awareness seminars, online na rin po. So bantayan nyo lang po yung aming Facebook account na nag-a-announce po kami doon kung ano yung aming mga activities na pwede namin pong i-share sa inyo. Okay, and the development of cybersecurity policies for the protection of the CII. So, meron na po tayong na-identify. Kung makikita nyo po yung ating National Cybersecurity Plan sa DICT website po, meron na po tayong na-identify na 12 CII. So, meron po tayong mga focals po doon. So, tinutulungan na po ng DICT Cybersecurity Bureau ang pag-establish po nila ng kanilang agency cert po. And kung ano pa po ang maitutulong ng cybersecurity sa kanila. So we assist them kung paano mag-i-establish ng kanilang CERT team. Then yun nga po kanina, issuance of digital certificate. And yung pong mga trainings for registration assistance. So kailangan po natin kasi ang mga registration assistance para sila po yung nagbabalidate, nagbe-verify po para sa digital certificates. Next, please. So sa ngayon po, ito yung top 3 priorities of the Cybersecurity Bureau. So syempre, number 1 is for the operations po ng NSERT. Continuing office work from home din po sila, pero 24/7 po naka-monitoring sa Cybersecurity Bureau po. Sabi nga namin dito, 24/7 po ang duty namin. So, kailangan po laging nakabantay dahil sabi ko nga, security guard kami ng cyberspace. Then, cybersecurity advocacy and awareness campaign and policy development. Ito naman po yung tinututukan ng CIEC SMD. And then yung digital certificates nga po, yung sa kabilang, yung isang naming division na Digital Certificate Division. Next po. So ito po yung CERT PH natin. Yan ang ating national CERT. They are handling and responding to all security incidents reported and monitored in a timely manner. So sila po yan sa NCERT. Next po. So ito nga po yung binabanggit ko, free po ang BAPT. Kailangan din po ng cybersecurity related assessment on the networks and online system to discover any existing attack vectors that could be used by adversaries to compromise the overall security, privacy, and operations of the government and other Cybersecurity Bureau stakeholders. So, yun na nga po, free naman po yung services na to. Kung government agencies po, you can avail po of the BAPT. Next, please. So, ito rin po yung cyber threat monitoring and information sharing. So, meron po silang collection and analysis of data from publicly available sources and feeds regarding the cyber threats and releasing them to other agencies and other CIIs in the form of daily cyber threat feed and public security advisory to mitigate cybersecurity risk. So naglalabas po sila ng mga advisories, mga cybersecurity advisories and vulnerabilities. So ginagawa po yan ng ating national CERT. Next po. So ito naman po, yun nga sabi ko, all year round nagko-conduct po tayo ng cybersecurity awareness and information campaign in all parts of our country. So ngayon po, mas malawak na sa buong mundo. Pwede naman po kasi nagla-live tayo sa YouTube, sa Facebook. So we can teach Filipinos the basic cybersecurity so that they will be properly equipped in dealing with threats and present in the cyberspace. So para maproteksyonan po ang bawat isa kasi marami pa rin po. Sabi nga ni Sir Mon kanina, marami pa rin nagre-report sa kanila. So ibig sabihin marami pa rin pong nabibiktima ang ating mga hindi kagandahang gumagawa po ng hindi maganda sa cyberspace. So yung mga cyber criminals, so may mga swindler, sabi niya kanina, kung nakikinig kayo. So yun po, kailangan po nating protektahan ang ating mga sarili sa cyberspace. Hindi po kaya ng DICT or ng Cybersecurity Bureau na protektahan po ang bawat isa. Kaya po tayo nagkakaroon ng awareness. Campaign is to help you to protect yourselves para kayo na po mismo ang mag-protect sa sarili nyo sa mga cyber threats. Next po. So yan, nagpo-post nga po kami. Yan po yung aming Facebook page, cybersec.gov.ph. So yan po, bantayan nyo lang po yung mga posting namin, infographics, mga advisories po sa social media. So marami naman po, halos lahat sa atin ay may Facebook account. So makikita nyo po doon ang mga advisories namin and mga tips po namin how to protect yourself po. Next please. Ayan, development of cybersecurity policies that will meet the needs of the government and the 12 critical information infrastructure. So we are working po with our banking, with power, yung po yung mga 12 identified critical infrastructure natin. Kasi kailangan po nating protektahan, lalo na halimbawa po ang banking. Diba yan po kalimitan ang tinatarget ng mga cyber criminals, diba? And our power, pag nawala na tayo ng kuryente, nawalan tayo ng internet, paano na po sa mga telecoms, di ba? And our BPO, so mga importante po, mga critical information infrastructure na kailangan po natin protektahan. So we are working with them po on how to help them establish their own computer emergency response team para sa kanila pa muna, maproteksyonan na ang kanilang mga sistema. Next po. So yun, nagkakaroon po kami ng roundtable discussion with our CIIs nga po, creating their sectoral cert and their needs, kung ano po yung basis in the development of cybersecurity policies. If they need policy on cybersecurity, we will work with them po on crafting the policy. Next po. So, processing of the application, issuance po ito na sinasabi ko kanina na sana po magkaroon din tayo ng ating digital certificates and digital signature. Lalo na po ngayon na naka-work from home po tayo. Halos lahat tayo naka-work from home at saka yung mga students po kayo, di ba? Nasa ano lang din kayo. Ang ating klase ngayon ay puro online. So kung kailangan, katulad ng mga professor, kailangan yung mag-submit ng accomplishment report sa ating mga deans. So kung meron tayong digital signature, pwede na po tayong mag-submit ng ating accomplishment report online. So using our digital signature. Next po. So yun, hanggang dun lang po muna at marami pong salamat sa opportunity na ibinigay niyo po sa Cybersecurity Bureau. Mabuhay po tayong lahat at lagi po tayong mag-iingat. Salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Villamorel. Maraming salamat po. All right, so to manage our time, we will try our best to answer those questions, related to the presentation of Dr. Telma Villamorel. All right, we will answer them by replying to your comments in our Q&A chat box. Thank you for gracing our event, Dr. Telma.
Thank you din po.
All right, guys, now we'd like to introduce the first Vice President and the Chief Information Security Officer of PLDT Group, Smart Communications and ePLDT Group. He's currently the chairman and founding president of the Philippine Institute of Cybersecurity Professionals as well. He's also the chairman of the MVP Group Cybersecurity Council. Also, currently an adjunct faculty and course director cybersecurity executive course at the Asian Institute of Management. Let's all welcome Mr. Angel Redoble.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Angel Redoble. Along with Mr. Redoble, we have the board of directors of PixPro. First off, Mr. Ashley Acedillo and Mr. Alex Bernardino of Smart. We have also here Ms. Sheila Vasquez of Archer or RSA, Mr. Oscar Villasaya of Palo Alto Networks, and Ms. Mia Miracles of F5.
Good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Ng hapon.
Take it away, Mr. Redoble.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. And it's a privilege to be invited in this huge gathering of youth that are involved in IT, or ICT. And I always say that ICT will turn this country around with all the problems that we have right now, with our economy, with our corruption, with criminality. ICT can do a lot to address all those issues, and it can definitely improve the services that are provided to the people. So thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here. You wanna say anything, gentlemen and ladies? Mr. Oka.
Yeah, let me start, Mr. Visionary CISO. No? So, you know the current state of cybersecurity, not only in the Philippines but globally, right? And I think one of the challenges of every CISO is to look to the future, and proactively plan for how to address any issues that will come along. Now, what are the challenges that you see as a CISO, in dealing with this, not only in your organization but also, as you mentioned, when you get the citation from Cisco Connect in the US, that it goes
CISO's Connect.
CISO's Connect in the US. Now it goes beyond your organization, but the motherland, as you described. So can you give us a little bit more of, your thought process as a visionary CISO, Mr. Redoble?
Thank you, VP Oka. That's a very difficult question to answer. in all honesty, we don't aspire. No, I did not aspire to be awarded with that Visionary CISO award. And when I was told about it, I even felt that I am still unworthy, to be given such award. However, it has been very consistent in my career, that I always go beyond what is available to me in every level. And going beyond is always wanting to help those who need anything that something to do with cybersecurity. Whether I have to teach, whether I have to do lectures in events or conferences, And whether I need to write, whether I need to speak, it has always been there. And without thinking of this getting an award. But to me, cybersecurity and being a CISO is really about nation building. If you will not see yourself beyond your job, beyond your organization, then for me it's not enough. It's not enough because we cannot survive alone. Even if we are too secure, but the community is not. We still are uh, vulnerable. And the challenge has always been there, no? Like parang ikaw lang ang nagsasalita ng iba. You know when you are in a situation wherein people are looking at you because you're the only one who's stalking something different and talking in and doing things in an unorthodox manner. No? But before it was very challenging because unlike today, I have the authority, right? Whatever I do, it can be done. Whatever I want to do, it must be done. But before, it was a challenge because you were still I was still growing, and a lot of other people who are into cybersecurity we're not thinking and we're not doing the same thing that I was thinking and doing. But I guess today is I can say that it's a vindication, no? When you don't just think about yourself, you always think about others. You don't focus about your own growth. It feels satisfying, even more satisfying if you are able to help others to grow, right? Just not about you. I mean, cybersecurity is not just about me. And that's why you are with me, guys, because you people also think it's not just about you. Right? And if we all have that kind of thinking, that cybersecurity is not just about our jobs, it's not just about our ego, it's not just about our awards, no? It's about the country that we are trying to build. I think we'd be able to achieve a better, a safer, and a highly secure cyberspace for our netizens. Did I answer your question, Bipioka?
Yes, Mr. Redoble, thank you so much for I think enlightening the audience, specifically the youth, no, who I believe are encouraged to be dreamers and to be, like you, a visionary in not just about yourself, but about looking at others, not just about your company, but about the motherland, as you mentioned. So thanks a lot.
Just a follow-through question, Mr. Chairman. No? So you are a leading personality really in the Philippines, not only in the Philippines but in the region or maybe in the world, in terms of cybersecurity practice. No, so and we are proud as Filipino that you won the CISO Visionary Award. No, so they are saying, kasi Mr. Redoble, that the skill set in cybersecurity actually, not only in the Philippines but in the world is really scarce, no? And with the presentation of Dr. Ratelma kanina, I was listening that government has these plans of bringing in a safer cyberspace, no, for the Philippines. Now, in your vision, Mr. Redoble, no, as one of the visionary CISOs for the Philippines, no? How do you see that, the government and the private sector that you are in now could collaborate and help each other to really build a secure cyberspace?
There has to be a common mindset. We'll never be able to work together if we have a different mindset, if we have a different understanding, and if we are not going to compromise and have that same mindset, then only then we can draft a common strategy, right? But until we have that common mindset, we will not be able to achieve what we are trying to achieve. Case in point, in your organizations, people who don't have a common mindset, they don't normally meet and work effectively or efficiently, no? Until a leader comes in and sets the mindset, right? Because if you're going to wait until the people down the chain of command adopts a common mindset, it will never happen. So very important. The leadership is very important to set the mindset. The right mindset must be set, and everyone must have that kind of mindset. And those who will not adopt that mindset will have to leave and look for other environment, right? Because there is a leader and there is a very clear direction, right? So until that mindset, that common mindset is established, then we will always have a different strategy, a different understanding, a different approach with different results. And we can talk about results because from my environment where I'm working, I can present it a tangible result, right? But it's not supposed to be like that. So we have to have that same mindset. Now going back to when I was starting, I always had a different mindset. And when people say this guy is really good, I will always say that no, I don't think he's that good. Why? Because I have a different mindset. Somebody talks about cybersecurity and people commonly they're very diplomatic. I was never diplomatic when it's about cybersecurity. I was always on the right side of the fence, and I always say, what you're talking about is not true. In a conference, in a summit, I'm very vocal, because it's very important that speakers convey a real and truth kind of information. Cybersecurity is all about integrity. You cannot be in this industry if you do not have that integrity, because we're talking about security. Integrity is very important, and you cannot peddle hearsays, no, or fake news. Cannot do that. And if you mistakenly did that, you have to apologize. That's integrity, right? And as I mentioned earlier, I was always taking the path where very few or no one is walking. Many are walking this way. No, I was even told once, no, by a friend na sabi niya, bro, don't burn your bridges, sabi niya. Kasi balang araw magagamit mo yan eh. And that is something that I'm very proud of. Kasi sinabi ko sa kanya, alam mo bro, pinalaki kami ng magulang namin na hindi kailangang sumandal sa ibang tao. And that really paid off, no? And today I can still criticize anyone who is not telling the truth or giving the right information. Why? Kasi wala akong utang na loob eh. Sa tama lang tayo, no? And for the students that we have here right now, this is the reason why I love cybersecurity as a profession. I love cybersecurity as my life, because it makes me maintain the integrity that is needed in and out of my profession. Especially, we are talking about a critical infrastructure in the country. Right? So people find it very difficult, no, to not to go with the flow, and I don't go with the flow. No? If the reason of just going with the flow is not to offend a friend, And I'd rather offend him by telling him the truth or her the truth about cybersecurity, right? If tomorrow he forgives me, and that's a bonus. If not, at least I was not hindi ko siya niloloko, di ba? So cybersecurity, if you want to take that journey and you are looking at the CISO perspective or the CISO objective, it's not gonna be a very happy journey. but it's very, very satisfying because you know that you have contributed not only to your environment but outside of your environment. Did I answer your question, BP Alex?
Yes, about right mindset. Thank you, Mr. Redoble, for the response.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Chair, ako naman. So thank you for sharing that. And, being a visionary CISO is really nakaka-proud moment, no, for the Peaks Pro family and for the whole Philippines. To that, I have a question because I know one of the criteria also why they awarded this to you is because of your advocacy, like what you mentioned, nation building. So I'd like to ask you, what really urged you to start Peaks Pro or this Philippine Institute of Cybersecurity Professionals? And how can we partner with the academe to, maybe we can invite them to be, the students to be part of it as well?
Okay. Thank you for that Miss Universe question. Actually, one word: frustrated. I was frustrated. That's why I decided, together with the people close to me during that time, to create and register Peaks Pro, or the Philippine Institute of Cybersecurity Professionals, in SEC, without any idea on how to go about it. But I was frustrated because during the time in 2013, what I have seen in the years previous to that, only those who can afford to pay can attend cybersecurity events. Only those who can afford to pay can attend trainings who are not even good trainings. So I wanted so much to share knowledge and skills to those who couldn't afford to pay. And that's how Peaks Pro was born. Out of frustration, Peaks Pro was born. And since then, the advocacy to share knowledge and skills, notwithstanding the amount of money that I spent coming from my own pocket to do that, it was really very, very satisfying to go around the country. During that time, we were able to activate, I think, 10 or 12 provincial chapters, and more than 5,000 members, active members. Yeah. So it was a frustration. It was the frustration that led me to that to this advocacy. And of course, we should welcome the students, and the universities to become our partner. And we really hope to be able to forge a partnership with the academe and the students. If I may just mention that in our organization, in our cybersecurity operations group in PLDT, we will be launching an OJT program in cybersecurity. Not 200 hours though, not 300 hours, not 400 hours, but your student must do the OJT program for 5 months. For 5 months. Because we want your student to be able to do all the divisions in our group. The governance division, internal cybersecurity operation, special operations group, where digital forensics incident response and risk management, architecture and engineering, asset management, where there's also the identity access management and privilege access. It's the whole lot. No? It's the whole lot, and you will be sure. You will be 100% sure that when you're done with that OJT program, you can hit the ground running when you apply for work. And you can proudly say that you survived the cybersecurity operations group environment of PLDT. That's vision again, no? Because we need the students to be able to hit the ground running when they graduate in cybersecurity. The last count of cybersecurity professionals required globally has already been in millions. But what do we have? What do we have? We have people who can configure firewall. That's not cybersecurity. We have people who can manage antivirus. That's not cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the whole thing. Cybersecurity is the end-to-end perspective of having a resilient business, having a resilient organization. So that's on the business side. But with the PixPro side, with the partnership with PixPro, with our partners providing all the trainings required, no? For a student to be able to learn the first layers or second layers of cybersecurity, you should be able to, your students should be able to, especially the interested ones, they should be able to start already their cybersecurity careers while they're still studying, right? And of course, the Hacker High School program, no, that we will be launching. The Hacker High School program, it's a very light program, but then when your students are able to complete that, again, when they apply, they can hit the ground running, right? They will have experience, and that means that compensation and benefits will no longer be on the minimum wage or the least lowest level, right?
Mr. Chair, a follow-up question on that, because you mentioned the OJT program within PLDT, and I believe it will really help a lot. I myself went through that when I was, when I graduated after college, and it really helped me a lot. For the youth today that we have, those who are not yet, qualified for the OJT program, the younger ones, and those who are aiming to be a CISO in the future and a visionary CISO at that, what can you advise them? What can they do now for them to reach that goal?
Okay, that's a very good but very difficult question, because when I was their age, I was I was a headache to my parents, no. But then, if you're really interested and serious about joining, no, the pool of cybersecurity professionals, then as early as today, if you are into computer science, where programming is heavy, then I suggest you start doing secure programming, not just programming. If you are in an IT course where you are taught networking and other IT systems administration aspect, then I suggest you start reading about network security, no, or systems security admin. Put security in everything that you do. That's the message. Anything that you do, you put security. If you are browsing, think about security, no? Because as early as today, if you can develop the mindset of security in your brains, no, then you will not have a difficult time understanding cybersecurity because you already know cyber and you're practicing security, right? So that is the what everyone can do. And remember, good hackers nowadays, they're not 30 years old, they're not 40 years old. Huh? Some are even 9 years old, 10 years old. Huh? These people are already using their critical thinking capability. And that's what you need to do as well for the students. Be critical in everything that you do, in everything that you see. Yeah, you're already doing that. Remember, when you are crossing the road, you don't cross the road when there's a car approaching, right? You make that decision not to cross the road, and you make the decision to look right, look left before you make the road. That's critical thinking, and that is exactly what we are the foundation of having being in cybersecurity environment. Anything you do, you think, is this the right thing to do? Is this link legit? Is this email file attachment not a malware? You always ask the question. Ask the question. That's a good practice. But wag nyo lang sagot-sagutin yung mga magulang nyo kasi ibang usapan na yon, no? But in anything that you do in cybersecurity, just be critical, because that's what you need when you enter the world of cybersecurity.
There you have it, guys. Conversations with a visionary CSO awardee. Thank you very much, Mr. Redoble and his fellow esteemed cybersecurity professionals. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Monique.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next, we have a senior research and development scientist from Asia Pacific Network Information Center, or APNIC. He is a member of BCS, British Computer Society, and a founder member of the Australian chapter of the Internet Society. Please welcome George Michelson.
Hello, everyone. Is it okay if I share screen from here to do my presentation?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Go ahead.
Just finding the right screen. Here we are. Is that coming through okay? Do you see my slides?
Yes, we can see your slide.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm George Michelson from APNIC, the Regional Internet Registry for the Asia Pacific. Regional Internet Registries are member bodies, and we have a consensus policy development process with the community, and we support responsible governance and management of Internet number resources. Internet numbers, addresses basically. And we also do training and capacity development, and we host meetings and do lots of things with our members to help grow the Internet in the Asia Pacific. So I'm here to talk in the cybersecurity stand, but I sneaked a little bit of career talk into this pack. I hope that's okay. Okay, let's go. So, timing is everything. I want to give you a little bit of background about my career trajectory, because it is basically timing is everything. I didn't actually do very well at university, but things worked out okay, and it was all about the timing. After graduation, I was the last one in my class without a job. Someone offered me a pity job with a sole trader. I was working for peanuts. But it led to me taking a junior role in a university, and that led to me working in networking. And then I brokered networking in a junior role to a senior role. I wound up working in 3 countries, here in Australia and in the UK and in a residency in the Netherlands for 40 years. Now, I know a lot of that is about the past. That was the days of big steam engine IT. Things have got tougher and there are a lot more people with good skills, but I really believe that there are good long-term job prospects in networking and network security, and I want to beg you guys to think about working in this space. So, timing is everything. This talk is about routing security. What a time to talk about this. Look at what just happened. I could give you back 15 minutes because if I stop at this slide, I've said it all. Facebook did something we call a foot gun. They shot themselves in the foot. Look what it did. It took themselves offline. And it took WhatsApp offline. And it took Instagram offline. Whoa, 1 million influencers around the world disappeared. What a disturbance in the force. But they also broke peer-to-peer finance for the whole of Africa. Millions of dollars stopped moving through WhatsApp. That's huge. So, what did Facebook break? They broke routing. It's that simple. Now, some people out there, they want to say, no, this wasn't routing. This was the domain name system, the DNS. The machines that run facebook.com as a name, they stopped being visible. How did they stop being visible? They broke routing. So you might say, okay, they broke routing. Is that really security? Is it? Well, no, but there's kind of a story here about apparent security work that doesn't really hit the mark. Security can help make foot guns, and that is a huge problem. So let's talk about a model of the internet, a metaphor that we use a lot. And this is the metaphor of the 3 fundamentals that underpin the internet. Names to find addresses, addresses that we hand out uniquely to let routing work, and a routing system to find the addresses you found from the names. So we talk about this as a 3-legged stool. The thing about a 3-legged stool is if you take away one leg, it doesn't work. If you take away DNS names, you can't find the addresses. If you take away the address uniqueness, you can't find names to addresses. If you take away routing, you don't know where to send anything. So if you take one thing away, the whole thing falls over. Okay, let's secure it. So what we've done is made a pretty basic decision. It's a fork in the road. You could say, let's add another leg because a 4-legged stool is a lot stronger than a 3-legged stool. The problem is we argue like cats and dogs engineering the network, and adding an extra leg, that's a big argument. So instead, we made the decision, let's make the legs fatter. Let's make it stronger. Let's toughen it up. And we did that by adding a security mechanism called PKI, Public Key Infrastructure. In the DNS, we call that DNSSEC. In IP address management, we call it RPKI certificates. In routing, it's a work in progress, but it's PKI, and we did make things stronger. This mortar and pestle, I would love to have this mortar and pestle. You could drive a truck on this. You could change the oil on your car by driving on this. The problem is, we kind of made things stronger and we kind of made things weaker. Most of the time, we made it better, but not always. Because you can still break things, and when you break strong things, it's just as bad as breaking one leg on a 3-legged stool. Adding security makes things more complicated. Adding complications makes it easier to break them. They fail more often. Adding security makes things harder to fix. So what broke Facebook? This protocol called BGP broke Facebook. It was maybe only 1 or 2 commands that were typed wrong, but that was enough to break Facebook. And if we add security to BGP, we make it more likely we're going to break it. So what happened to Facebook could happen anywhere. And the more security features you add to something, the easier you make it to break it. So I keep saying PKI, public key infrastructure. What's that about? It's an old story. It was invented back in the 70s by the spooks, the spy agencies in the UK and the USA. And it's about secrets and proof. And it works. For the next 10 or 20 years, this technology works. Maybe if quantum computing works out, maybe there's a problem. That's a way off. So how does it work? Look, if you think I'm going to explain it in a 20-minute talk, well, 15 minutes, no, it's complicated maths. It's cryptography. It's crypto. Uh-oh. Right now, somebody out there is thinking, crypto, that means blockchain. This is a slide pack about blockchain, right? This is not a slide pack about cryptocurrency. Yes, cryptocurrency uses public-private keys, PKI. Yes, there have been suggestions to secure routing, putting it on the blockchain. But no, the engineers who really run the network don't want to do that. That's a story for another day. We're not talking about blockchain. What we're talking about is the property of signing things, making digital signatures using hash functions. Hash functions, fundamental mathematics used all through computer science, and you calculate a hash over a thing and you prove that it hasn't been changed and you prove that you made the signature. And you do this with complex one-way functions. And there's a crucial thing. You must keep one value private, your private key. It's a strong drive. And as long as you do that, PKIs, this scheme, they work. Keep something secret, sign with it. The public part is the check, using the public thing to check what the private thing did. Well, there's another use. That's about secrecy. We're not talking about that use. We're talking about the proving use. So this meme photo, all the time, I thought this was about Julia Roberts. Apparently, that's not Julia Roberts. You learn things. So keys, public-private keys, put into certificates form chains, chains of certificates. Certificates are a signature over a key and other information to prove identity. Chains are useful. They establish that somebody gave something to someone else. Validation, proving, with certificates is about proving every link in the chain. And to do this, you do maths about issuer and subject and signatures all the way along the chain to the last element, the trust anchor. You have to be told your trust anchor. You don't prove it. It's a mathematical axiom. So PKIs are about building hierarchies that make this system better. You get given a trust anchor right up the top, and you build a pyramid of infrastructure underneath. You can prove everything from the peak of the pyramid down as long as you have that trust anchor, and as long as everybody keeps keys private. All the bits that make this work, that's infrastructure, so it's public key infrastructure. You're doing this all the time. In HTTPS, web server certificates, they're PKI, and they depend on a trust anchor in your browser. When trust anchor breaks, things go very strange. So it works right up until the time things get lost. And this month, remember, timing is everything. This month, an apex of one of the trust pyramids went missing. A company called Let's Encrypt lost their trust anchor. Now, they'd known for 5 years this moment was coming. But a lot of manufacturers, I think lazy manufacturers, baked that trust certificate into a device. LG baked it into their Android TV. They baked it into their systems. So, do you keep a TV for 5 years? I do. Maybe TV's passed down to the kids' room, or maybe they go into the playroom. But the thing is, a lot of people's TVs went dumb. They stopped working all around the world, all because of one itty bitty tiny little certificate that went missing. So DNS in PKI, that's DNSSEC, and it has a trust anchor. That's provided by ICANN. They're the people who have oversight over all of the top level names. DNSSEC isn't quite like certificates, it uses bear keys, but it's a similar model, and you have to trust what things say based on proof. So if you lost that trust anchor, you'd have a lot of trouble, right? Well, we didn't exactly lose the trust anchor, but we did have a foot gun. We lost the keys to get into a digital safe. The secure materials that you use to re-sign things with that trust anchor were in a digital safe, and one battery failed. And because of that, nobody could unlock the safe because the pins stopped working. And these photographs, this is real from what happened. They paid a locksmith to come in and drill a hole into the safe to get things out of the safe so they could use the trust anchor to re-sign all the names across the internet. Now, they had 3, maybe 4 months of leeway before things were going to go bad. So this wasn't a disaster, but it could have been. Okay, addresses in PKI, RPKI. This is actually what my job was in APNIC. We signed certificates over addresses, and the ISPs throughout the Philippines get these certificates and say things about their addresses, things they want people to check. We've been doing this for about 10 years. We're one of the legs of the three-legged stool. So now we come to why I'm here, securing routing. This is all about securing a protocol called BGP. BGP stands for Border Gateway Protocol. Sky News here in Australia went live with a news story calling it Bridging Gap Protocol. I kind of like that. I love it when national news is talking tech and then they go slightly off screen and get the tech wrong. So BGP, Border Gateway Protocol. This is something the internet depends on to ship packets. The thing about BGP is it's incredibly simple. BGP is rumors. It's all gossip. It's 70,000 people, things that we call ASNs or autonomous systems. The N part, that's numbers, they're unique ID numbers. We hand them out, and they share 800,000 routes about prefixes, about addresses, because to routing, that's all hosts are. They're just addresses. A web host or a home host or your bank or whatever, they're just addresses. So protecting BGP is kind of really hard. Why do you believe this gossip? Why would you believe what you hear? Well, the thing is, right now, you just do. That's how it works. People say lies all the time in BGP. It's terrible. If we add signatures, we're going to make things stronger. We're going to underpin that trust model with objective proof. Use the signatures to check what you see in BGP. That's really vital. So there are other things you need to do. Protect the system, normal security, secure transport, like in banking and finance. That isn't as exciting, but there's good work in that. So protecting the information model, not having lies, how are we doing? Well, you and me, the public internet we're talking over, it's about 25% signed on average. About 15% of ISPs check what they see. In Asia, we do less checking, but we have more signing. You guys, the Philippines, you rock, because 75% of the addresses in the Philippines ISP community are signed. Respect. The level of checking, that's really low, probably only 5 to 20%. So the thing is, you guys, no one can tell lies about you. That's good. But you're not checking if other people tell lies to you. That's not so good. Okay, BGP is about two things, origin and path. Origin is the start of the gossip. It's what you say. Path is what you hear. It's the things you learn. And you need to protect both things. So right now, we've only fixed origin. Fixing path is hard. It's more complicated and it's more complex. It's more effort. It hasn't been fully designed. We only got half the story done. So now we come back to the other half of my talk, because we need people to help. If BGP security isn't fully defined, if there's a problem here and if designing it's hard, maybe there's a job here for you. So we need brains. We need smart people. Maybe you could be the smart people. Here are some of the roles we need in networking worldwide and in the Philippines. People to fill these roles. And not all these people are going to be brilliant programmers. Some of them might have other skills. So the real reason we need you is because we're all getting old. We need you to replace us. It would be really nice if we got more women and more people of color and more non-English speakers to join in and work out how to do things. The really big question here is, what kind of a network do we want to build? Why are we doing this? It's not just about Netflix. It's about emergency services, finding lost children, voting, finding jobs. This is huge. What's the network for? Who decides? Well, whatever it's for, I think it should be strong, not brittle, strong. And to make it strong and resilient, we need good security. And whatever it's for, I think you should take control and decide. I don't want to do this in 5 years' time. I really want to go do something else, maybe with a mortar and pestle. Whatever it's for everyone. There are 2 to 3 billion other people who need to get online. This is a big job. So my plea is, think about working in network security. We need your brains. Thank you very much for my chance to talk and present. I think I'm on a panel session later, so please ask me questions there or send me an email. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. George Michelson. All right, so as mentioned earlier, those questions related to the talk and discussions of our speakers, we'll try to our best to answer them later in the panel discussion. So now our next speaker is a math Olympic gold medalist converted to software engineer. He used to work on a large-scale machine learning for Criteo, CTO for Fittle, and lead software team at Workwell. He finally created simple login to control his inbox. Please welcome Mr. Song Nguyen Kim.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So today I would like to talk about email address and how important it is compared to what we thought. So usually email address is something that we are willing to give out without questioning, but actually it has a big impact on our privacy, and that's what I'm trying to address in my presentation today. Let me try to share my screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Cool. So let me start. All right. Yeah. So our topic today is about security and privacy, and I'm going to focus more on the privacy side because I'm the founder of a privacy company. And today I want to talk about how we are tracked online, how advertisers do to check us, going from website to website. And I'll try to give some insights uh, from the advertisers' point of view, because I used to work for the biggest advertisers in France for about 3 years. So I know a little bit about how to track people. So the first technique that advertiser use to track us that I think most of us know about is via cookie, and it has multiple names. It can be called one pixel image, a tracking script, or via iframe, etc. And the common thing about all these techniques is something invisible to the users. So as a user, you don't see anything happening when you browse on a website. So let's say you go to CNN.com, and actually when you go to CNN.com, a lot of requests are also sent to multiple advertisers to inform them that, hey, this user with this specific cookie ID is now browsing on CNN.com. And because advertisers sign a lot of partnership with big media companies, they can track you everywhere. So as a matter of fact, so in 2000, so 10 years ago, Criteo, my previous company, tracked about 1 billion users on the internet without anyone knowing about it. So it's like the double the size of Facebook at that time. But the good news is GDPR. So with GDPR or similar policy, tracking by cookie is now by third-party cookie is almost impossible. So if a website wants to wants a third-party advertisers to track you, they have to display something to you in a readable, easy to understand format, and you have to click the accept button or you can refuse. Obviously, some websites don't play that game, so they have a lot of workarounds, either by showing a big window with a lot of text, and you don't have any choice rather than click accept, or they can charge you. If you don't accept, then you have to pay in order to reach the website. Another technique that I think most of us use is to install ad blockers, and ad blockers are actually quite effective because they block all the requests from the browser to advertisers. Because they have a list of all known advertisers, they can easily block all the requests to advertisers. But this one is kind of, an ongoing combat between ad blockers and advertisers, because advertisers will change their domain, their tracking domain quite often, to avoid ad blockers from adding them. And ad blockers have also to be always up to date in order to know what are the real advertisers behind. And another good news is Apple. Apple is actually the company who's leading the way to ban third-party cookie. And because Apple is Apple, so all other companies have to follow them. So the second technique, so now cookie is become more and more difficult. The second technique that advertisers use is via browser fingerprinting. So similar to human fingerprinting, a browser has also a unique ID that can be constructed via different properties like the MAC address, which is your computer address, the physical computer address, the IP address, or it can be based on specific properties on a browser. Like for example, Chrome and Firefox don't have the same HTTP header fields when sending a request, and the order of the header is also different from browser to browsers. The fingerprinting can also be based on device model in case you are using a mobile phone, for example, or even more, it can also be based on browsing history. So actually, browser fingerprinting is a very efficient technique for tracking us. But again, the good news is GDPR. So with GDPR, browser fingerprinting becomes more and more difficult because companies have to reveal what they are doing behind the scene. And also with GDPR, you can easily ask company to provide all the information they have about you, and you can just ask them to delete you. They have to accept this request. And also, if you use like privacy-focused browsers like Brave instead of Chrome, it can also help because Brave will try to blur out the fingerprinting or to use and try to simulate that, so all browsers are the same, so that advertisers cannot distinguish between you and other user. So next come the next technique. So this one is a little bit more than just knowing we are the same person from website to website. This one is created to address a change in our behavior because nowadays people usually have multiple devices. You can use your laptop to browse on an e-commerce website and take the final decision when you are back home on your phone, for example. And in order to know that these two users are actually the same person behind the scene, advertisers work on something called cross-device tracking in order to know you are actually the same, these two users are actually the same person. And there are two ways to do it. The first one is deterministic, meaning that is in most cases it succeeds. And this one is done via a unique ID. So let's say the advertisers is Facebook. So when you are on your PC, you go to an e-commerce website which has Facebook integration. Then Facebook will know about that. Facebook will know that this this Facebook ID is browsing on this website. And later on, when you open the same e-commerce website on your phone, and because you also have Facebook installed on your phone, and Facebook will also know this Facebook ID is also browsing on this website. And because Facebook ID is unique per person, then Facebook will know what is your online behavior. So this technique is the most reliable, but not all advertisers are Facebook. So if you take like advertisers like Criteo, they don't have a client application like Facebook. You don't log in to Criteo, so that's also it's really hard to track you using this technique, and that's why other advertisers they come up with another technique which is less reliable, but which is becoming more and more accurate, which is based on machine learning to match a person a behavior online using several data points like the device that you are on, the operating system, the IP address, the time of the day, etc., and to match with your behavior, because usually you will use a specific device at a specific hour. Like if you are browsing from your PC at work, then it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and from 6 p.m. I don't know uh, to 10 p.m. Usually you're going to use your phone. So it's going to create a pattern that advertisers can use to detect whether these are the same person behind. And actually, this field is quite interesting if you are into artificial intelligence or machine learning. Is an interesting field. All right. And again, the good news is if you use a VPN, then the cross-device tracking is almost ineffective, except for the Facebook ID case where you still have Facebook on your phone. But for the second case, because the VPN redirect all the traffic through their servers, your device leaves no trace, and then it's almost impossible to know to match different users to the same person. And if you are in the Apple ecosystem with a new version of Safari, this cross-device tracking is also made more and more difficult. So finally, when all the previous techniques fail, what advertisers are turning into is to use our email address. And this is possible because we used to use the same email address everywhere. Like let's say if we have a Gmail account and if a website asks us to provide email, then most of the time we will provide them with our Gmail address. And this is not good because this email address can be used as a common denominator for crossing the data sets later. So let's say you are using Tinder with your email address, and you are also using Netflix with the same email address. And let's say an advertiser can buy data from Netflix and from Tinder, and using and after that, you can use your email address to know that this user A from Tinder and user B from Netflix are actually the same person behind the scene because they have the same email address. And more often than not, the advertisers buy data from other websites, and which is a really big industry. It is a 200 billion industry. And actually there's another, and apart from being tracked online, using the same email address everywhere has another consequences. And data leaks happen every day. So for example, Yahoo leaks about 3 billion address some years ago. And recently, LinkedIn also has a big data leak. And because of that, your email is probably already on the market. So it's just waiting for an intelligent hacker to attack, either by sending you spams or phishing. And some numbers are actually quite impressive. So almost all phishing attacks come through email. Phishing can come from multiple mediums like SMS, like phone calls, or even letters. But the reason that most of them come through email, because email is cheap, is really cheap to send millions of emails. That doesn't cost you more than $1. And the phishing campaign is also quite effective. So half of the phishing attack victims are later on infected with a ransomware. that asks them to pay money, to pay cryptocurrency in order to unlock their computer. And the phishing attack is also more and more common. Like in 2020, we have double of the attack compared to 2019. The phishing campaign is also becoming more and more personalized and sophisticated because the data leaks happen very often. Hackers can have data, more and more data from you. If you use the same email address on Yahoo and on LinkedIn, and then the hacker will know that you have Yahoo and you have LinkedIn, and so on. And because when they have more data about you, the email they send to you will look legitimate. That is really hard to resist, the temptation to click on the link. Let me think of an example. Yeah, an example I have, like personally, when I started to work on simple login, is I have my Hotmail account, and strangely, my emails sent from my bank are considered as spam by Hotmail. So every time I have to look into my spam folder to see if emails from my bank ends there, and obvious phishing emails are considered as safe by Outlook and are in the inbox. And that show that the algorithm used by Outlook, which is a big email advertiser, a big email provider, is less and less efficient to detect what are the real spams, what are the real phishing. And because of that, more and more legitimate emails will go into spam, and more phishing will go into your inbox. So a good news is it's easy to verify if your email address has been leaked in the wild. You can just go to a website called Have I Been Pawned, which is quite popular in the privacy community. You will enter your email address there, and they will tell you whether it has been leaked and in what data leaks that it has been in. And you don't have to worry about it. There's no like they don't try to steal your email address, because you enter your email address. There is like an open source website run by a privacy activists. And because our credentials is usually composed of the email and password, and because we are using, more and more people are using password manager, either the built-in password manager in Chrome, in Firefox, or a third-party password manager like 1Password and Dashlane. And because of that, our password nowadays are quite different. Like usually you don't use the same password on multiple websites. And because the credential is composed of email address and password, you also need to protect your email address. So let's say if someone doesn't use a password manager, there's a high chance that they use the same password everywhere. And if the email address is leaked, or let's say the email address is leaked on LinkedIn, a hacker can just try to use the password leaked in another data breach to try to log into the LinkedIn account. And for most people, this technique can be quite effective. So in some regard, leaking email address is actually even more serious than losing your password. So again, lucky for us, there's multiple solutions available today that allows us to create a different email address for every website. So you're going to have an email address for Tinder, a different email address for Shopify, another email address for Spotify, etc. And that way, if you start to receive spam sent to an email address, let's say to your Tinder email address, you can just deactivate this email address. And if someday, if you receive an email from shopping.com to your Tinder address, and then you know that either Tinder has sold your data or Tinder has a data breach that they are trying to hide, and either way you can just deactivate this email address associated to Tinder. So nowadays there are different solutions. So the first one is obvious. So I'm obvious bias here because it's my solution is simple login, but it's not the only solution. You can also use Unknown ID or Firefox Relay, which is a service provided by Firefox, and both of them are open source. And if you are into Apple ecosystem, you can also use the new functionality from Apple called Hide My Email, which is, I think, only available in the iCloud Plus subscription. And recently, the biggest password manager, 1Password, also provide a solution for masking your email in collaboration with Fastmail, an email provider from Australia. Yeah, that's and the next question I would say is how about our from school Yahoo address. I guess everyone has a Yahoo address date from school. And unfortunately, there's no solution here. The only solution I can think of is to do a progressive migration to a new email address. Every time you receive an email that you want to receive from someone on Yahoo, you can just tell them to use the new address instead. And it will take time. Actually, it takes a lot of time for me. It's still ongoing. But at some point, you can migrate all important emails from the old mailbox to the new one. Yeah, that's all I have in the presentation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Son Nguyen Kim. All right, now for any questions related to Mr. Kim's presentation, we'll try to accommodate them later in the panel discussion. Thank you again.
You're welcome. See you.
You? All right, okay. Gusto ko naman batiin, i-greet ang ating mga participants. Andyan pa ba kayo? Are you still with us, guys? Yes, okay. Send me a smiling emoji. Wow, yes, Crystal. Hi, Russell. Lyndon. Wow, ang dami sa ating chat box. Nice. Kimberly, Jennifer, Jerome. All right, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for staying with us. All right, later, bibigay ko instructions para sa raffle natin. Okay, abangan nyo yan. But now, let's proceed to our next speaker. Our next speaker is going to be talking about the privacy and cybersecurity features of the ASUS notebook. Please welcome the commercial business lead, Mr. Francis Avila.
Okay, thank you, Monique. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Monique. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is still alert and also very attentive because I think we have a few more speakers that will really interest everyone regarding the topic that will be discussed for the remaining of the afternoon. Again, good afternoon. My name is Francis Avila. I'm the commercial business lead of ASUS Philippines. Yesterday, we have given you a preview of our ASUS products and solutions offerings, ideal for students, teachers, and school IT admins. At this point, let me sidetrack for a minute and proceed. Before we proceed to our topic on privacy and security, let me first share some stories on how ASUS envisions in helping the youth and the country through education. Let me share my screen. Okay, so over the years, ACES Philippines showed its commitment to providing better learning opportunities for our educational sector. ACES products are built to meet and exceed the academics' expectation when it comes to providing the best solutions. So, but here in ASOS, not only we focus on our products, but of course, at the same time, we strengthen our commitments by providing better access to digital technologies, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Different institutions has partnered with ASOS in supplying reliable laptops to schools and other learning institutions. And I'm here to share some of these success stories. First is the Santo Domingo National Trade School, wherein before they are using one computer unit with 7 monitors per student ratio. So with this, the students and the school cannot individually accommodate the 3,350 faculty and students, thus hindering them being competitive in terms of technology, teaching, and of course, learning. As ACES believes in the potential of the younger generation, we donated 50 ACES laptops to Santo Domingo National Trade School. The units were installed in the school mains computer laboratory, but however, now we know that they're using it in remote and distance learning as well, and is being used by students and faculty members. From then, the students can now enjoy 1:1 ratio per class, where they can individually maximize the use of these laptops in their classes. As ACES is committed in providing better access to digital technologies, especially during COVID-19 pandemic, ACES Philippines and its partners, ACES Foundation, collaborated with some movements such as the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation and Be a Giver Incorporated to supply educational hubs in remote areas with 123 units of ACES Chromebooks and VivoBooks. These are brand new laptops that Yellow Boat and Be a Giver started with their movements with the mission in providing underprivileged kids and with the basic access to education and giving them opportunities to succeed. When the pandemic hit in 2020, many unprivileged students, we all know this, were left at a disadvantage of finding technological ways to cope up with the demands of online learning. Fortunately, for 200 Sikat scholars of the geothermal giant Energy Development Corporation, they become beneficiaries of brand new laptops through the partnership, of course, with ACES Philippines. Our growing partnership with Educacion.ph has started way back in 2019. And up until now, ACES still believes in their vision, which already helped millions of students every year to make self-aware educational decisions. Moving forward, ACES hopes to have more collaboration in order to expand the community of students and help them find their educational pathways using the right and innovative technology. All these success stories that was shared to you led to the formation of the ACES Educacion School Partnership Program. Aside from the products that you're all familiar of about ACES, we also offer and recognize the education sector as one of the foundation in our country. With that in mind, we are excited to share our ongoing ACES Educacion School Partnership Program, which aims to assist schools in the modernization of their IT facilities and to support teachers and students so they can excel both more in teaching and, of course, in learning. Here are some of the list of benefits and activities under the ACES Educacion School Partnership Program. First, school and institution programs which aims to provide yearly development funds, computer laboratory enhancements, and training or learning seminars, just to name a few. Second, we have the Teachers and Instructors Subsidy Program, which aims to award excelling educators as well as seminars to update them on the latest technological trend and hardware fundamentals. Then lastly, we have the Students and Learners Subsidy Program, which is similar to the Teacher Subsidy Program, but instead aimed towards students. Also under this program, ACES will offer internship, especially for the students here, opportunities for graduating students. At the moment, ASUS and our school partners are actively working together on our partnership through this program, and we are looking forward to more in the following months. Our more recent partners includes the following colleges, universities, international schools, and even training institutions. We are committed to further expand our partnership with some more schools in the country to share our vision in elevating the IT readiness and digital learning and teaching of the next generation. At ASUS, apart from producing innovative and world-leading products, we care for the welfare of our users, making our products easy to use and very relevant to whatever situation we may have. Together with our partners, you can all be assured that you can trust us to provide only the best products and services always. Here at ASUS, we recognize that all these initiatives are making great strides in changing the lives of the children in the Philippines. So to learn more about the ASUS Educación School Partnership Program or other product offerings of ASUS, scan the QR code on your screen or send us an email for an online meeting and inquiries. And now, to share more about some of our features and benefits of our ASUS products, I will turn you over now to our Field Applications Engineer, Matt Animos. Matt?
Thank you, Francis, for the wonderful presentation. Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
All right. Let me share my screen here. One moment. Right, everyone I think can see my screen now. Okay, so today we're going to talk about protecting your online privacy and data security with ASUS solutions. Hopefully everyone is well and enjoying the discussion about the technology here in Y4IT. Again, my name is Matt Animos, Field Applications Engineer of ASUS Philippines. As the COVID-19 pandemic took hold, online learning became the new norm as universities and classrooms around the world were forced to close their doors. In fact, just last April of last year, just a couple of months after most countries went on lockdown, an estimated 1.2 billion students across 186 countries were affected by these closures. Due to the need of continuous education of the world's youth, many schools and universities had to make the transition to emergency online learning. However, after the transition, it became clear that most of us were not yet ready for the large-scale online learning. For the full-time digital education, the technologies needed are within the reach of many, but not all of the education sector. For one, not everyone has a laptop or a PC. Not everyone knows how to manage teleconferencing software for 50 plus students or even more. And of course, not everyone has stable internet connection with unlimited data, which is of course required for continuous connectivity. But perhaps the most glaring of all these concerns is the fact that many schools, universities, and institutions do not have the proper cybersecurity measures in place for online protection for their faculty and student body, especially now that online learning platforms are being actively targeted by these cyber criminals due to the sudden popularity of these platforms. In fact, in June, Microsoft Security Intelligence reported that the education industry accounted for 61% of the 7.7 million malware encounters experienced by enterprises in the previous 30 days, more than any sector. So imagine the large attacking being done on that scale. Apart from malware, education institutions were also at increased risk of data breaches and violations of student privacy with ill-intentioned individuals taking advantage of teleconferencing platforms' security weakness in order to break into private meeting rooms, with several reported incidents of online schooling being interrupted due to these individual activities. Apart from hacking into private meeting rooms, online identity theft is also a major concern, with phishing websites mimicking or even cloaking login pages of popular teleconferencing and online learning platforms, as well as spam email targeted at these users. Because of these platforms, they pretend to be a class-related notices, reminders, or even a simple photo. And of course, there are also software that can eavesdrop on while you're having a discussion without even your permission. Like online learning, these risks are here to stay as long as online learning continues. These cyber criminals will exploit the sudden popularity of these online learning platforms, and as our education sector braces for further closures that can be brought about by second waves of the virus, it is important that we not only have the necessary know-how to combat these threats, but also the right hardware to do the job. So we protect our own privacy online even when we're only at home. Do you think so? This can be summarized in these points. You need to practice a basic online security management. You need to the right security software installed on your device. Maybe you need a perfect understanding on how to combat identity theft, phishing, fake websites, to avoid these kinds of instances. And of course, you need to know what laptop or desktop features you need to be looking for that can help you provide a better chance of fighting these cyber criminals. Basic online security is, as they say, basic, but even here, most of the online users usually do not follow the safe practices online. And it all starts with the password itself. That's very basic, yes, but using a secured password, at least one capital letter, small letter, a number, and one symbol. That only gives you a better chance on doing so. But you can take it a step higher using a password manager so that you can generate secured passwords on the fly, and not even you can have the better opportunity to save them on your application. So you can also opt to a biometric security on your device. So this can come in a form of fingerprint or facial recognition technology, and it's much more secure than a standard password or PIN. Virtual private networks, or VPN, which encrypts your network activity to make it more harder for these online attackers to track you online. You can also use a two-factor or multi-factor authentication to make sure that only you can access your account in the event someone manages to get a hold of your password or PIN. So this is actually the same as Steam or even your Discord. So if you guys are familiar with that, I believe I think you catch the drift. So next, we're going to talk about the ASUS product features for online privacy and endpoint data security. So ASUS devices provide high levels of security, from device level locks to enterprise level network authentication and remote control. Using the technologies like the ASUS Control Center, vPro, IT managers can actually give you a better mileage in terms of management. So they have the capability to remotely access your device and wipe them clean. Internally, the Expert Series lineup offers a TPM, or Trusted Platform Module, for remote access verification and other physical and software security features at every level, whether it is a device management, software or hardware, to the physical device itself. We provide users with a wide variety of security options to keep your data safe. Like, for instance, I'm going to highlight a few. Like the BIOS hard drive password, it gives you a hardened layer of protection to keep hackers from prying your hard drive or SSD upon UEFI boot up, because we value information security for everyone. To safeguard your personal privacy and business information against malicious hackers, certain, or rather, all of our product line, which is the ASUS Expert Series devices, have an integrated privacy shield that can simply slide over the webcam to stop while it's being used. All of these devices that we have for this particular model is the B9400. No need for an attachment to be placed on your webcam. So this is already built out of the box. You can also opt for one-touch fingerprint login, which offers the same level of convenience and security. All of these devices carry this feature because we value, like I said earlier, we value information security. Whether it is Microsoft Windows or Google Chrome, ASUS solutions help prepare students for the future with innovative learning experiences with ASUS technology. Students can access online learning resources, engage in interactive and collaborative projects, enjoy immersive learning, and develop skills that are essential in this digital age. ASUS innovations also empower teachers to increase student engagement, enhance student skills, and encourage collaboration. With easy management solutions, teachers can keep classrooms organized and spend more time teaching with the students. If you wish to learn more about these Expert Series devices, you may download our Expert Series 2021 Solutions Guide from this link, or you may use our QR code on the screen. Check us out on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you very much. Back to you, Monique.
Thank you so much, Mr. Avila and Mr. Animos. Thank you. So to manage your time, we will try our best to answer the questions related to your presentation later in the panel discussion. Thank you. All right, so we would like again to thank our sponsors for making Y4IT 2021 happening. So thank you to ASUS, Paymaya, Smart PLDT, Oracle, Linux Professional Institute, Palo Alto Networks, Microgenesis Business Systems, Archer M Security, Empire Lux, Felta Multimedia Inc., Panadera de Pantoja, and Teleperformance. Now we would like to mention again that we are looking for info system developers and web app developers. So if you'd like to start your career in these positions, please send your CVs to Janine Gatchalian at jfgatchalian@up.edu.ph. For more info, please see the details and watch shown on your screen. Now for our students, here's how to request for your Y4IT 2021 e-certificates. Please use the bit.ly link shown on your screens. We'd also appreciate if you can use the feedback link. Just be careful to type the link correctly, as this can be case sensitive. An e-certificate will be provided for a fee of 100 pesos per session attended, and a total of 600 pesos if you will join all 6 sessions. The e-certificate will be sent via email as soon as we have verified your participation, and e-copy of your payment receipt uploaded via the request form. You can also opt to make a one-time payment if you choose to attend all 6 sessions. For payments, we have GCash, Paymaya, Landbank, and BPI available. Payment instructions are available via the request form. Lastly, if you have any questions or concerns, please email us at info.y4it@upsitf.org. Guys, last but not the least, a very important announcement, guys. Keep your eyes peeled as we'll be giving out the instructions later on how to join our raffle. Okay, this is exciting. Ito, lagi natin ito inaabangan sa Y4IT. So finally, meron ulit tayong raffle. Okay, so now let's move on to our next speaker. For our last speaker for today, he's going to talk about the current trend of cybersecurity and education and the direction it is heading in. Please welcome Mr. Reggie Borja, the Regional Account Manager of Palo Alto Networks.
Thank you, Monique. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, let me just share my presentation. Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes, we can see your slide.
Okay, thank you. Let me start then. So thank you for the introduction, Monique, and good afternoon to everyone who is attending this conference. It is the tail end of the second day of the conference, so some of you might be tired, but please bear with me. I have about 15 minutes to present this afternoon. Regarding this topic, very important, very key, especially to you administrators and the students who are attending. It's a critical need, cybersecurity professionals. So this is our topic. My name is Reggie Borja, and as a brief introduction, I'm basically managing the cybersecurity requirements for under Palo Alto Networks with our partner government agencies. So that includes state universities. Okay, so that's why this program is also aligned in my territory so that I could educate you and share with you how we are helping organizations meet this need, this critical need for cybersecurity professionals. So let me start to my slide. All right. So maybe just a brief introduction of Palo Alto Networks for those you who do not know. We are a cybersecurity company. We're a leader in terms of network security. We are based out in California, in the US. And with this slide, I just want to emphasize that a lot of people, in fact, 95% of the Fortune 100 organizations are using our solutions. At the same time, we are a company who are growing year by year. We are a very large cybersecurity organization, and there are more than 75,000 customers who are using our solution globally. Now, what does this mean? Because I'm going to talk later on about the need for cybersecurity professionals. So if you become a Palo Alto Network cybersecurity professional, so these are the type of organizations that you will be engaging. We have 75,000 customers who are dying to meet you as a cybersecurity professional, to hire you, to help them in their war against cyber crimes. So just a brief introduction. And also, it is not only our customers who recognize our leadership in terms of cybersecurity. Gartner also puts us in the 9th year running as a leader in their Magic Quadrants for network firewalls. Okay, so that validates our leadership. But why are we highlighting this fact? Because we in Palo Alto Network also understands some of the trends in cybersecurity, such as the proliferation of devices that are connected to the internet, and therefore data is everywhere. Because of this, because of the 25 billion devices that are connected, it is fueling further the desire of cyber criminals to engage and to create some criminal activities. I don't know if you realize this, but every month we see more than 300 million new threats that are being developed that we are encountering. So they are very active. And because of that, companies like Palo Alto Networks have developed some solutions so that we can combat these threats and these cyber criminals. However, having solutions is not enough. People will have to go and operate these solutions. The analyst should be able to interpret the data that is being churned out from these solutions and feed that back to the organization so that the cybersecurity agenda or platform and initiatives within an organization is aligned with the organization's overall goal and mission. And we need professionals to do that. The firewalls can't do that for you. We have to have real people who are analyzing and ingesting and delivering these information back to management. And so we see a very big shortage as far as cybersecurity skills is concerned. As shown here, how does this look like on a global level? Well, I'm showing to you here a slide that is based on North America, but this is similar wherever you go. It doesn't mean that in the Philippines we have a surplus. No, that's not true. It is a common shortage that we share globally. So it says here that the ratio for cybersecurity workers to job openings is about 2 or 1.8, lower than 2. That means that for every cybersecurity job opening, there will be just only 2 candidates. That's small because the industry standard is about 4. So therefore, you can see the demand, and you can see also that if you become a cybersecurity professional, there is a need and you can easily be employed. I want to show here some of the top cybersecurity job titles that are being required right now, ranging from cybersecurity engineer to analysts to consultants, up to technicians and specialists and analysts. So there's a huge gap. There's a huge need for professionals in our industry. You can even see on the lower left the number of people that are needed. 500,000 cybersecurity job openings that are waiting for professionals, for skilled professionals. And so we want to help that in Palo Alto. We want to be able to contribute to society and to our customers as well by giving you a plan, you students and organizations, a plan on how to mitigate this shortage. So here, showing again some information on the career pathway for cybersecurity professionals. So there's the entry level up to the advanced level. Many of my customers, in fact, just a couple of weeks ago, a government institution asked me, says, he said, do you have an idea on how much salary is required for such and such a position? Because his dilemma is, after 1 or 2 years, the person goes out and leaves that institution. So I said, your pay range is actually good. It's actually good. The problem is, right here, you can see here in the advanced level, there's just an enormous need as far as advanced level cybersecurity professional is concerned. And so if you do not promote your employees after 1 or 2 years, of course they will be promoted, but maybe somewhere else, another organization or another institution. So I was explaining that, and this chart basically shows that. So again, if you become cybersecurity professional, it's a very fast path towards promotion and advancement, right? So that's why we came up with this education as an outreach program for Palo Alto. Again, the aim is to help our industry. We help our customers, and we also help you, students and educational institutions, right? So we have different programs. We have programs for youth, middle and high school, and higher education. So this is from K-12 up to college, right? So we have this is basically a summary of what we have. Why don't we go to the next slide so that I can talk about each program? So we have youth, middle high school, and higher education. Okay, so first is we have the cyber ACEs, or this is the activities in cybersecurity education for students. And this is really meant for those who are in ages 5 to 15. And these are very basic ways on which the students is educated in terms of cybersecurity, how they can protect themselves and how they can also help protect others. So it's very basic. This is for free. By the way, everything that I'm going to talk about in this session is for free. It's delivered to you for free, right? If it has a fee, then I'll mention it. And aside from that, aside from the basic cybersecurity course for ages 5 to 15, we also have our cybersecurity career exploration resources that are free for students. We have the cyber.org career profiles that will help you gain a better understanding of the future in future career options for cybersecurity professionals, so that at least you can see there and align certain roles versus their responsibilities, so that you can also, as an individual, determine whether this role is for you or you're more inclined to take this role. You can also see there's other information such as the number of people who are actually having that work, that job description, as well as salary information. So visit that. That's free. We also have a couple of ebooks. The first one is the Palo Alto Network's Career Guide. You get to learn more about Palo Alto, how we got started, and also what are the careers that are available within this organization and in the organization of our customers. We also have career pathway for women in information technology. Women who are listening right now, this is not a traditionally women-oriented industry. A lot of us are males, but that's quickly changing now. But we value women in the industry. We could use your expertise. We could use your skills. And so read up and look at what you can do in contributing to the cybersecurity industry. And lastly, we have the Cybersecurity Survival Guide. This is an ebook which provides a valuable overview of today's threat landscape. So you can get all of those resources. By the way, if you want a copy of my presentation, it is with the organizers and you can just request. Okay, it is in PDF format, so you can have it. So moving back to the Cybersecurity Academy overview. Now, this is our academy program for higher education, for junior and senior high, and also for college students. All right. So our mission is to equip students with the next generation cybersecurity knowledge and skills to succeed in today's rapidly changing cyber threat landscape. And as I mentioned, we have partners all over the world for this program, currently numbering at more than 1,500 institutions globally, present in 75 countries. So if you're an administrator listening, you might want to take a look at this, and we encourage you to seek more information from me and from my colleagues. There's a website that I'll share later where you can actually apply for the program, and then you will be evaluated online. So what are the benefits of this program? So the qualified academic institutions receive free access to three things. The first is the curriculum, which is delivered through the Moodle platform. So you can easily incorporate this curriculum in your degree program. And in terms of the technical, this is actually aligned with the Palo Alto Network's job roles. Now, these courses are actually some similar to the courses that we offer to our corporate customers. That means they have to pay for them to be able to attend the class to get this. But for universities, for schools, for academic institutions, we're giving this for free. Again, why? Because we want to help our customers and the public in general in terms of cybersecurity. At the same time, we want to develop our cybersecurity professionals because of the thing that I mentioned earlier, the great lack in terms of the manpower for cybersecurity. So that's first. You have the curriculum for free. We also provide training for the teachers, for the faculty, for the professors. So this is through online and synchronous or self-paced. So once you are able to complete that and you are able to pass the course assessments, then you can begin teaching. So the best way for us to teach this is not only, although it's available in Moodle, it's available purely online. We want to supplement that with the faculty interaction. That's the best way to teach, especially if you have the labs that are incorporated in the curriculum. Now, lastly, you also have free access for our virtual firewalls. So we provide an institution with 50 users VM series firewall that you can set up in your server in your lab and use that as your platform for exercises, right? So that's basically everything that you need to do it. Now, there are some certifications that are provided by organizations, for example, by Pearson VUE, and these are the certifications that are being checked and are required by companies who are going to employ cybersecurity professionals. So if that's the objective, then we are giving also 40% discount on these certifications, particularly the cybersecurity professional courses, right? So moving on, this is a roadmap that we have developed, and it basically wants to show you where you can be after taking these cybersecurity courses under the Palo Alto Networks program. No, so after you have finished your cybersecurity foundation, that's 30-hour, then you become you are now qualified for the next one, which are segmented into three curriculums. All right. So first is network security fundamentals. Second is cloud security, and third is security operations. Right. So it is a step ladder type of engagement, and there's a reason for that, because in this next slide it shows we have our high school, right? The K-12, of course, the senior high. I believe one of the objective of having a senior high program is for them to be able to, for the students to be able to go out, and for those who do not want to take anymore the college education, they are employment ready. And this will allow further the skill set of those individuals, of those students. Because here, this is for high school, right? So if you finish the courses for high school, then you can have certain certifications, and then also the potential job roles, such as if you are able to finish the security operations fundamentals, you can be a cyber threat analyst or a data analyst. So that's the career path, right? The next one is for college. So for college, for example, you are able to finish the enterprise security deployment, then your career path is an enterprise architect, cyber defense infrastructure support specialist, or systems administrator. So we are trying to show you where you could land if you want to take this path towards being cybersecurity professionals. And again, Palo Alto Networks is here to help you achieve that. Let me just do a time check. Okay. We also are giving out research and technical resources. So I will not go through each one of these for the sake of time, but these are resources that can give you information, data sets, threat intelligence for your consumption. So you can just look at it. No, again, request a copy of my presentations from the organizers. No, some of the things that you learn in each pillar, if I may call it, or in each platform. For example, these are all labs. If you notice, there's a lot of lab work. So if you have your virtual machine running for you, your Palo Alto Next Gen Firewall, you are able to do these labs. You are able to do the exercises and even even through virtual. No? So these are examples. So there's a lot of lab. So we're not just doing this theoretically. We're not just providing information and you just stay with the theory. No, we are also providing you with hands-on live implementations of such through these labs. No? So at least when you go out, when you are able to finish them, then you are really employable and you are skilled in these courses. This is a view of the Moodle platform. And you can see here that the exams are integrated, and then afterwards you are given your Cybersecurity Academy certificate of completion, right? For the administrators, the teachers, and the professors, we have the Fuel Palo Alto Networks user group, where you can find valuable information as you teach and as you bring this to your organization, to your students, trainings, tips, and a community that can be your resource also to help you deliver this program. So this is my last slide. So we have resources, as I mentioned, even in our website, paloaltonetworks.com, there is a link there that will bring you to the application to be an academy that is accredited for this program. And so to all the administration, check it out. And if you have questions, send them to me, or you can even send them through our website. For the students, the resources that I've shared with you, you can just visit them and just take a look at them for your consumption. And hopefully, this guides you in your career path. As a parting shot, we need you. The cyber criminals are not stopping. And we are not stopping in creating also solutions. But again, the solutions that we provide are only as good as the operators who are using them, who are administering them, who are operating them. Also, that could be you. In fact, you could be the next founder of a company that is similar to Palo Alto. And that's not a long shot with all the resources and the technical know-how that we have. That's how companies like Palo Alto are built. And so hopefully there'll be a first or second Filipino inventor who can bring us to the next level of cybersecurity. So with that, I would like to thank you. And if there are any questions, I'm here to answer. Or maybe in the panel, I'll have my colleague later, Sarah, will be joining the panel. You can throw the questions to him as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reggie Borja. Yes, those questions we will try to answer later in the panel discussion. Would like to request for you to stay as we'll now be having our panel session. Please stay. Thank you. May we once again have Mr. Monchito Ibrahim join us to moderate this afternoon's panel discussion, where our privacy and cybersecurity experts will have a short discussion about their field of expertise. Joining our panel for this afternoon is Palo Alto Network's Saravanan Rahagopal, founder of Simple Login Son Nguyen, Smart PLDT's Angel Redoble and Ashley Asedillo, George Michelson of APNIC, and finally, Reynard of ASUS.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Monique. Good afternoon once again. It's me again, Moni Brahim here. And this time we're actually going to have a conversation focused on cybersecurity. But before that, I'd like to acknowledge all the panelists we have this afternoon. Let me start with Congressman, my good friend, Congressman Ashley here of PixPro. Congressman Ashley, maayong hapon.
Maayong hapon and good afternoon to everyone. Nice to see you again, Sir Mon.
Yeah, of course, the big boss of PLDT and our big boss as well, Mr. Angel Redoble. Maayong hapon, maayong hapon.
Maayong hapon, Idol. It's good to see you again. No?
Okay, thank you.
And good afternoon to all the panels.
Okay, thank you. And of course, we also have with us Reggie Borja and George Michelson. My apologies, I didn't actually get to see your presentation a while ago, but I know it must have been very, very good. Okay, and our colleague from ASUS, Brainrod C, and finally, Palo Alto had to import rather an expert to be able to actually join us for this conversation, Mr. Saravanan Rajagopal. Okay, how do your friends call you, Mr. Rajagopal?
Yeah, hi. My name is pretty long. My first name is Saravanan. You can call me Sara in short.
Okay, and your friends call you Sara as well.
That's right.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask you how your wife calls you, but anyway, because in the Philippines, usually Sarah is a nickname for a lady. But that's okay. That's okay. Now, my first question, and I'd like to throw this to everyone. Okay, I know the answer is pretty obvious, but we're actually, we have our audience here are young people, and we really need to. Oh, by the way, I forgot to actually acknowledge Mr. Son Nguyen Kim. Okay, you must be a Vietnamese, Mr. Kim.
Yeah, I was born in Vietnam.
You were born in Vietnam, but you still have that Vietnamese accent. Okay.
Yeah.
I stayed for long in Ho Chi Minh City before, so for me to actually recognize, oh, this guy is Thai, this guy is Vietnamese, this guy is from either KL or Singapore. Okay. My first question is, why is information security important? One answer. Let me start with Congressman
Yes. Thank you, Mon.
Why do we need to worry about information security?
It used to be, Mon, no, that we worry about information security or the security of our data because it will affect our livelihood, our business. It will imperil some people or some companies' privacy, so on and so forth. But now, and this has been widely reported just recently, it is now a problem because it will affect human security. Meaning our footprint in cyberspace can also endanger our lives. If you're a company, it's not just your income or your revenue that will be affected, or some proprietary information that will be used. No? So this is where things now, or rather, this is where us in the IT security practice now have to level up our game. because it used to be that we will just worry about breaches or inadvertent disclosure, but now we have to worry about human security, about securing people's lives, because a breach can eventually lead to a death. It's not yet as we haven't seen instances of mass casualties as a result of a breach in IT security, but we have now what we call kill malware. We don't have to worry about just malware or ransomware, but now killer malware, malware that can actually cause deaths to people.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Okay, let's hear from you, Sarah. Why do we need to worry about information security?
Yeah, so this is very specific to data privacy, right?
Everything.
Okay, yeah. Information is equivalent to money nowadays. In the earlier days, business, trade, personal information is more like a face-to-face transfer, but now it is all virtual. So dollars amounts is also translates into data or informations. So there are a lot good, and there is also bad. It's similar to having a knife with you. It can do good more than a little bit of harm. Similarly, information and security is become a core of a day-to-day life. The way our life has been transformed recently, especially let's look back for the past 1.5 years during this pandemic. We've been working from home. I do not know who am I talking to virtually, and the information that I'm seeing in my screen, it's all of faces, but the way it's conveyed to my PC, it's all data. So how do I trust these informations that I'm seeing in my PC? So there are a lot of act, regulation, legislations, obligations are in places, but it's always at the core, user responsibility is become at a high stake.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, George. Sorry. Go ahead, Sarah. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, over to you, I say. Yeah.
Okay. My apologies for that. George, may we hear from you? Very basic question, but why do we need to worry about this?
I think I belong to the last generation who are going to have any privacy of things they did in their youth and the consequences, because none of that is online. If you live now, everything you say and do is stored somewhere. It follows you around forever.
Yeah.
So I think this fundamental quality of sensitive data and its effect on your life is really, we don't understand fully yet. The other thing is, it used to be we were judged on our acts and not on what goes on in here. And the problem is, the only way people understand us now are things we say online. And that's very close to what we think. And if we think online in our blogs and in social media, we're being judged on what we think, not on what we do. I think we have to be very careful about this.
Thank you, George. Angel, what can you add to what has been said so far?
Thank you, Sermon. But we used to be very relaxed with information. No? The only organization that I'm aware of that was very conscious about information is the military, some government agencies, and husbands who have girlfriends outside their marriage. Those were the only entities I'm aware of was very concerned about information security, until the time when information became a very important source of livelihood, source of business, source of learning, source of source of a family initiatives, no? Wherein when we started losing those information, it affected our daily lives, it affected our businesses, and from the environment that I'm working right now, Sir Mon, if information is stolen, extracted in an unauthorized manner, and sold in the dark web, then if the crimes against humanity that we used to know in the traditional space, when there will be a massive hacking of information and a massive compromise of our critical assets because of this information, then that would be far worse than what we have seen in the traditional space, because it's going to disrupt our lifeline, our bloodline, and our daily lives will be severely affected. That's why we need to be very serious about information security.
Okay, thank you, Angel. Mr. Son, okay. No, before I forget this question, I've been asked to actually I've been requested to ask you this question. By the way, do you provide free accounts to students and faculty or teachers in your solution, in your platform?
Yeah, so we provide, so we used to provide free accounts for students. And like 2 months ago, we received so many emails from students everywhere that it's impossible for us to verify, whether they are telling the truth or not. So that's why now we replace the program, but by a big reduction for students. It's about 50% off. But I think we will bring back the free student program next year when we find a way to verify scholarship status of a student, because right now we don't have any automatic way to do that, and everything is done manually, so it takes a lot of time.
Okay. Anyway, we'll let you scale up your business before we expect you to bring back the free account for students and faculty. Thank you for that. Okay. Now, your platform is really tailor fitted for ensuring information security. Any more you can actually add to this for our young students here?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I know your platform, your solution is actually tailor fitted or designed to really take care of information security. Okay. I'm asking you to actually tell us more about this feature of your solution.
Yeah, so the solution, the main feature is to allow you to create a different email address everywhere. So when you want to sign up for a newsletter, within a click, you can create a new email address. Or when you want to create a new account on Reddit, on Twitter, for example, you can just click on a button and it will create a new email address. So then you can have different email address for a unique email address for every website.
Okay. Thank you. Now, turning to Brainard C now of ASUS. From your end, what do you see are actually the biggest cybersecurity threats today?
Currently, as much as I wanted to say that it's going to be involving like a really like in-depth hacking, the biggest, I think, biggest concern right now, I think, is simply phishing. Because especially in the Philippines, I think phishing is like one of the most widely used in terms of like breach in terms of our information and security. And for this, I think it's also pretty hard to have like a specific like technology, since this is a very simple act, yet it's very effective in terms of like getting our like information and everything.
Yeah, I think the only solution there is common sense, right?
Yes.
Okay. Reggie. Okay. The same question. What are what do you think are the biggest cybersecurity threats right now? And if I may, I just add, where are they coming from?
Yeah, there are certain countries that are more prone to sending them. Now, yes, I'll agree with that. Usually, it's phishing, it's the email threats, but that's in terms of frequency. But in terms of gravity, we will consider national security because if in case of national threat, we do not imagine that the first thing that will be done is a bombing or a missile being launched. It's going to be started in the cyberspace. And we can see that. And that's why talking with the AFP, different military, even the police, unfortunately, all of our systems are still connected through the internet, right? So that poses a very big threat. And that's why we're trying to help them. And they realize the need to beef up their cybersecurity. So I guess in terms of danger, I mean, we could lose a lot of money if there's a cyber crime for financial institution, but cybercrime that is done in terms of national security has grave consequences. And we see that every time there's a conflict, a customer will call. They say, we just received 1 million attacks from such and such countries. I will not name. That's reality. Thank you, Sermon.
Okay. Turning to you, George. By the way, I have here a question sent from some of our from our students. Okay, does APNIC provide free training?
Yes, in some circumstances, APNIC does provide free training.
Okay, and they can actually they just have to take a look at the APNIC website for them to actually. Okay,
the
thank you for that.
Academy link there is worth going to visit, and we have quite interesting online labs that people can use to bootstrap knowledge in switching and SDN, BGP routing, DNSSEC, a number of topics. But I'd like to stress that it's important that we recognize other providers of education, and we're not here to try and interfere with startup businesses, companies, and people developing education products and packages. But we do provide access, yes.
Okay. Thank you. By the way, George, where are you based now?
We're based in Brisbane. The APNIC was actually born in Japan as a union of pre-existing national registries, and we moved to Australia about 25 years ago. Brisbane's a very nice place to be. There's a large Philippine community here.
It is.
They're lovely guys, and their training is superb. These people are really skilled. I know. Salute you all.
I know, but it can actually be sleepy sometimes. Sorry for saying that, but I like Brisbane. Okay, turning back to us is to Ashley. I'll ask you the same question. Okay, and what are the emerging cybersecurity threats right now, and probably give us a hint on where these are actually coming from, and what is actually the role of PixPro, okay, in ensuring that nothing bad will actually happen to the Philippine cyberspace.
Okay, I'll take care of the last question first, Sermon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, PixPro doesn't have any illusion as to being the silver bullet in securing Philippine cyberspace. However, we have this very, I should say, very ambitious goal to be a force multiplier for the good guys. Our mission has always been to increase awareness and increase the cybersecurity capabilities of our countrymen, and we would do this in various ways. And we do this also with partnerships with our technology partners, some of whom are represented here. So that's the quick answer to your third question. Now, as to the first and second question, I'd like to jump off from the point of Reggie a while ago. And this is truly where perspective is important. So if you're talking about, say, for example, I work with Angel in PLDT and Smart, right? So we have like several hundred people involved in securing our network and involved in cybersecurity. So that's a very formidable team that we have. But if you range that against an advanced persistent threat or a country that is determined to attack the Philippines or our enterprise, then this team will pale in comparison to that effort. Same manner. So you have an aggressor country as the number one threat. A secondary threat, I believe, would be organized crime. Syndicate groups which have dedicated resources and manpower for hacking. Same thing. If ranged against an individual or even a small or medium-sized company, then that threat is formidable because the scales are tipped towards the organized criminal group already, as opposed to them targeting an equally formidable entity like a large company or even a national agency. So there you will have a parity, so to speak. So it's really important when you talk about specific targeting because a well-motivated, well-equipped, and well-staffed country or criminal syndicate can really overwhelm an otherwise well-prepared but outgunned entity like small companies or even individuals. Sermon, you're on mute.
Sorry. Angel, interesting was his insight, Congressman Ashley. Angel, relatively speaking, how safe is Philippine cyberspace? I know we don't have the DICT was these people here. Okay.
You know, Sermon, no? Even after we spend so much money every year since I was hired and our group was created, the level of paranoia is still at the highest. Even if we've done a lot already, even if we've deployed our technologies based on our concept,
okay,
we are still on the highest level of paranoia. In fact, we already adopted the assume breach strategy.
Okay.
Long before Singapore, long before the government of Singapore did that. So as to the telco perspective, and based on our paranoia, we can never say that the Philippine cyberspace on a telco perspective is safe and will be safe. And I think it's better to take that position because it keeps us awake 24/7.
True,
no?
true.
Even if we are not working, our mind is still connected to our work, our task. No, because the number of attacks that we receive on a daily basis on all layers, from the web application layer, the transport layer, the session layer, the network layer, it's by the thousands, and sometimes we hit hundreds of thousands. No, and the number of phishing and scamming sites that we block access coming from our subscribers, we already hit tens of billions of access.
Oh my
So
goodness.
imagine the gravity of the attacks. And as mentioned by Congressman Cedillo, these attacks are both coming from state-sponsored attackers and cyber criminals, and they don't sleep. They don't sleep. So as a straight answer to your question, how secure is the Philippine cyberspace?
It is not.
It is not even near to minimum level of security, and
I think
that
that's,
yeah.
and I think that should always be the mindset. Okay, that complacency should actually be thrown out the window. Okay.
Correct.
And of course, that's the other reason why they're paying you very high salaries. Turning to you now, was this Sarah? That's a joke, Angel. For countries like the Philippines, what do we need to actually do to keep up with all of these threats? Aside from buying, of course, your Palo Alto network products.
Yeah. No, there are various solutions are available in an enterprise level.
Okay.
If you look at the trend now for the past back to these 16, 18 months due to this pandemic, a lot of IoTs has increased. Remote works has increased. Almost all of us are at home now. So let's set aside our solutions that we created for the enterprise. Let's think about vast majority of the people are sitting at home and working. And are we safe at home now? So the business has transformed to houses, small offices in the Philippines.
Okay.
And how do we ensure they are safe? How do we ensure they have confidence when they are working or in the day-to-day life operation? Some basic principles we can actually apply, such as, am I using the right applications in my computers or in my mobile phones? Am I sharing location services? All. So there's a lot of awareness, lack of awareness among the end users, simply turning on location services. Many apps or softwares actually collecting data and then sharing it outside. So we need to turn off data sharing in the applications or in the software. Make sure we use a strong passwords for the applications sites that we are using and change it frequently, like every 60 days or 90 days. There is a concept called two-factor authentication. How many of us are enabling it? Awareness again. And phishing scams. The moment some attractive email pop-ups, some from website attachments coming in saying that, hey, here is the link for your shipping, we happily click on it and then download. And we should not do this without validating the authenticity of this. So again, awareness. Antivirus protection, simple antivirus protection at least, need to be installed in our computers. I know it's difficult for the mobile devices. And online shopping is very popular now. How many people verify the legitimacy of the website before they do the shopping?
Very few.
How many people report scams on the mobile phones? See, all these are related to awareness. So the people, regardless of Philippines, everywhere, they must have awareness on what they are doing. Now we have a huge response, a huge power actually with our hand. We can do shopping credit card authorizations like this in a split second. We can share our personal information to an unknown people by filling up some web form like this. And the moment we do things like this, people also can do technique like data harvesting from our computers, our machines, our mobile devices, including usernames and passwords. So the first thing I would say is forget about the solutions that company like us provide. Let's think about the end user's responsibility and awareness, how much they're aware of it and how much they are doing it with the high responsibility.
Okay, thank you. You might as well add, a new.
A new product.
Common sense.
Human itself.
Common sense.
Common sense, yes.
Okay. Anyway, I've actually been advised that we just ran out of time, and so at this point, I'd like to thank all of you. Let me start with the two guys from Palo Alto, Reggie Borge and Saravanan Rajagopal or Sara. Okay. My two kababayans, Angel Redoble and Congressman Ashley Asedillo of PixPro, and from APNIC, Mr. George Michelson. Our guest from us is from single sign-on, right? Mr. Son. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for being with us this afternoon, and of course. Brainard C. here of ASUS. Thank you so much for the support of ASUS for this youth congress. So once again, we owe you a lot, guys, for enlightening us some more on the topic of cybersecurity and to some extent privacy as well, or information security. Maraming salamat, as we say it in the Philippines. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Monique.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Monchito Ibrahim. And of course, to our panelists, thank you for being with us today. We would also like to thank our sponsors for the last time for making Y4IT 2021 possible. Thank you to ASUS, Paymaya, Smart PLDT, Oracle, Linux Professional Institute, Palo Alto Networks, Microgenesis Business Systems, Archer M Security, Empire Locks, Felta Multimedia Inc., Panadera de Pantoja, and Teleperformance. This brings us to what everybody is waiting for. Guys, this is it. Take into account, of course, our Y4IT sponsors that we've mentioned, all right? So this one is for a raffle, guys. So please tweet about your Y4IT experience, okay? Add your pictures, videos, TikToks. Wow, pati TikToks, guys, ha? Or be as creative as you can, okay? Upload nyo lang yan sa inyong Twitter. But don't forget to use hashtag Y420, Y4IT 2021. Again, hashtag Y4IT 2021. All right? So that serves as your entry for the raffle tomorrow. Okay? Tomorrow ang raffle natin, but you can now start uploading your pictures, videos, TikToks, or ano man yung trip nyo. All right? Okay? Share us your Y4IT experience. Now for our last reminders for students and professionals who may be looking into starting the exciting IT journeys, we'd like to mention again that we are looking for info system developers and web app developers. So if you'd like to start your career in these positions, please send your CVs to Janine Gatchalian at jfgatchalian@up.edu.ph. For more info about this, please see the details on what's shown on the screen. Now for students, here's how to request for Y4IT 2021 e-certificates. Please use the bit.ly link shown on your screens right now. Would also appreciate if you could use the feedback link. Please be careful lang to type the link correctly as this can be case sensitive. So an e-certificate will be provided for a fee of 100 pesos per session attended and a total of 600 pesos if you will join all 6 sessions. The e-certificate will be sent via email as soon as we have verified your participation, and an e-copy of your payment receipt uploaded via the request form. You can also opt to make a one-time payment if you choose to attend all 6 sessions. For payments, we have GCash, Paymaya, Landbank, and BPI available. Payment instructions are available via the request form as well. Lastly, if you have any questions or concerns about our speakers, about their presentations, please email us at info.y4it@upsitf.org. So guys, this marks the end of today's session. So we hope everyone makakasama pa namin kayo bukas. Sino ba ditong a-attend bukas? Can I get a heart emoji sa mga a-attend dito bukas? Ayun, Rowelyn Ramiso, TJ Dawisan, Kaizel, John, thank you so much. So I'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Jennifer, John Lloyd, Nars, Khalil, and Jeanette. Wow, ang daming emoji heart. Thank you so much for your support to Y4IT. Thank you. Yes, okay, guys. We hope to see you again tomorrow for the final day of the 19th Youth Congress on Information Technology, harnessing emergent technologies for a better future. Once again, my name is Monique Cardenas. Thank you for joining us. See you all tomorrow. Bye.